Bill Maher, good friend of mine and yours, Dana, has a great show, a lot of opinions, talks about a lot of interesting things. And one thing on a side note I didn't tell him is a lot of times on Twitter, they have just snippets of the show from the night before. And so I get to watch little chunks if I do miss it. And that's kind of a plus because I get to see a little snip of like, here's what he thought about this. Here's an interview with this. So, but great time. All just bunch of comedians cracking up again, as usual. I like that.
A lot of laughs in this one, and he talks about his early days a little bit, stuff like that. And we talk about the Golden Globes.
Oh yeah, we did get into the Golden Globes.
Just on. And Bill always has something interesting to say. And he talks about honesty is sort of his superpower. He's very, he's blunt. But I was on his show in the 90s a bunch of times, Politically Incorrect. I haven't been on Real Time as much, but we've known him a long time. We, meaning comedians, all know each other from the Improv and Comedy Store. Go back.
He's had basically the same job since 1993. It's unbelievable.
I don't know how much time off, but basically it's just a connected thing.
It's a straight run of a hit show.
Yeah.
And,
just
whatever version of it, but it's all about the same version. It's bananas. And he's been up for 40 Emmys. That's how we put
40 Emmy nominations is an achievement in itself.
Yeah, crazy.
And that's extraordinary. And he talks. He was going to be a sitcom actor. We talk about that in the 80s, and then how he evolved as a comic, and then we just goof around and do a lot of stuff. I did a few Dennis Miller impressions, which he loves.
Always a hit, always a home run. I tried to ask a real question toward the end, and he made fun of me. So remember that. He goes, "Who wrote that question?" I go, "Bill, I'm a journalist."
That sounds like a producer. And then Greg was turning bright red. I could see in the.
It wasn't. I was just wanting to say, God, you say so much shit on your show. What could they? Do they ever just say, "Stay away from that"? Because a lot of these talk shows are like, "Do not talk about this. Do not talk about that."
He's got a pretty big leash, but there's a couple times certain things got a little controversial. You guys can look it up.
Spanked.
You can look it up.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's let him hear it. We had a really good time with Bill Maher.
Bill Maher.
Which one is Jason Bateman?
You're our third. This is when Club Random and this one goes under. This is our podcast. So let's get our chemistry together now.
That would be awesome. Okay, we're on, because I don't like to waste any of my charm talking to you guys when we're not actually on.
We're recording. Everything's recorded. And this,
okay,
dude, I do phoner interviews, Bill, just for this part of it. And then they go, "Hey, Zoo Crew," and I go, "Okay." They go, How you been, David? You got a big show coming up?" And I go, "Yeah." And they go, "First time in Denver?" And I go, "No, I've been there." And they're like, "Honk, honk." And then they go, and then after I'm exhausted, they go, "Okay, we're going to put you on in about 2 minutes. We're going to patch you in."
I know.
Wait, this isn't it? What the fuck's going on?
And then you hear them talking about you. It's very creepy. I don't like. You love doing morning radio during your early days, right, Bill?
Early days, yeah, very early. I haven't done that. I mean, that's one thing.
Been a while.
I have on my list of things. wait. I have a list because I'm not. I just did probably my last stand-up show.
Impossible.
And that's no. That's my special.
I know. Is anyone else seeing this on HBO this Friday? Because we're out Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So, but among the things that I will not miss is the interview with Fart Man and Asshole Jack. Right.
Fart Man, that was Howard Stern.
Well, whatever,
okay. I know.
Shithead,
Tommy and the Bull. There was always a guy and an animal. Tommy and the Bull.
Right. I mean, David Spade is much more of a warrior than I am. I mean, he will still do that and do any sort of show anywhere. I mean, he'll do it outside for
parking garages.
He's just amazing.
Yeah, because my manager's name is Mark Gervitz.
Yeah, mine
makes us all go.
I think it's a nice little run.
Spade likes money. Yeah. Dana doesn't like money.
Well, It doesn't make me do it, and they're not making me do it anymore. I mean, I will miss it and I love it, but there's a time. It's better to leave a party a little early than a little late, I feel.
Yeah.
And that's among the things I will not miss. It's that those talking to. I mean, I've done many newspaper interviews, but who the fuck reads a newspaper anymore? With people who are actually quite bright and pleasant to talk to. But the morning zoo guys, no, that's just outrageous.
What's the main thing they would ask you that was would be annoying or assume something about you? The real Bill Maher.
That I have a thing for black women or something like
That's
that.
insane.
Well,
It's a little
Who doesn't?
Of course, I love every woman. It's ridiculous to say I have some sort of fetish, but they're not interested in the things I'm interested in, which are, politics and what's really going on and something with a little intellectual nutrition to it. They want to talk about stupid shit like that.
Nutrition.
So,
They go, Bill, when you get on the phone, you're going to hear a robot voice. That's our sidekick. You're going to hear a parakeet. And then you're going to hear Bobo. He's in for Zip Zip.
He's an animatronic monkey. Don't be alarmed. Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I've done it all.
Yeah.
Oh.
We were just saying that some of these corporate gigs are kind of fun because you go out there. They're not super fun, but
they can be okay.
They can be okay. I think we all do those. And
no.
You don't do those anymore?
Again, may I reiterate, you're such more of a warrior than I am. You'll do anything. I'll do only. I would. I get offered these corporate gigs, and I've been there. It's true. I've been there enough to know what the problem is. There's corporations, right? And they have a corporate mentality, which I do not. Okay, so right away, the premises are not going to please them. I'm a pot-smoking atheist. I'm just wrong to begin with for this crowd. So if they don't love the premise, they're probably not going to like the joke. Now, there's some stuff, especially in the last 5-10 years, when the left has gone off the deep end, that I do plenty of stuff that will make conservatives laugh because the left deserves it also now. But corporate gigs, I remember when I did a few of them. Here's the problem. Somebody on the entertainment committee is my fan. So they're like, let's get Bill Maher here. Everybody will love him. Well, everybody won't love him in the company. You do. And you think everybody in the company is so fucking hip. They always, when I say no, oh no, our company is different. No, it's not. You think your company is different and it's full of a bunch of hip people, but it's not. It's full of a bunch of insurance salesmen and they're going to fucking make my life miserable. And there's no amount of money that can make that, when you're this age, every day has to be a good day. And a day when I'm talking to a bunch of corporate people at noon is not a good day.
Is this true, Bill? Because I've been doing corporates for a long time, not as many as I used to. And that's why they pay you so much, because they know it's difficult. But they did say to you, and they didn't say this in a snarky way. They go, well, Bill was different. And we said, Bill, no F-bombs, okay? And then apparently Bill went up there and said, how the fuck is everybody doing tonight? Which I loved you even more because that's what you all want. We all want to do. But then,
Yeah, the last one I did, the guy from the corporation is the one who introduces you and does an intro and sometimes tries to be funny. And my opening line was, Jesus Christ, that guy was fucking terrible. Because he was. And they all laugh because they know it too. But it's just, see, you can do it, Dana, because you're not doing stuff that's going to offend either side. You can do your genius.
Well, I'll do just impressions. I mean, I don't care. I'll just be I would do a corporate date that's specific to that.
And even when you do like your brilliant Joe Biden, which I loved every week, and
come on, pardon more people today, make more bills, and they're not going to be able to get my bills back. Where am I? What's going on?
And
you did good, Joey. Go ahead.
I love when David was on when you were the church lady too. That was great to see you guys together.
We wanted from the beginning. I thought, and David thought that it'd be funny if he just played Hunter Biden. We don't know why. It was just David as Hunter Biden, and then the opportunity came up, and it ended up being not Biden. Joe Biden with Hunter Biden, but we got him on there. It was great.
No, I was always curious to why they never had anyone play Hunter Biden. They sort of,
Right.
It was just sort of ripe for the pickings. I thought it may be a hot tub talk show where they have guests and girls in the,
Well, if you want to get into that, and I know this podcast.
We can say anything. We have editing capability in case
we'll get rid of anything funny you say, but go ahead.
I pitched a Hunter Joe. Yeah. Let's end a career today, shall we?
No, but as far as you mentioned, why didn't they do that? How about why didn't they make fun of Kamala's husband when he got Me Too'd? It is amazing the way this country is so partisan, including in the media and the entertainment parts of it, that when something happens for your team that's bad, it's like the angel of death just flying over the house on Passover. We don't see a thing here because Doug Emhoff was credibly accused of things that other people have been accused of.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't plastered everywhere.
It was certainly out there.
It was out there.
Yeah, no, I'm saying.
And again, it was as credible as many other accusations I've heard, but somehow it was just Andy Samberg as, funny, kind of dorky Doug. And it's just wrong. If you're going to make fun of people, go both sides. Don't play that game. I don't like that.
I was surprised in many ways that, I was ready when I first did Biden out there. I just thought, because he'd been a hot oven for a long time, to what line are you making fun of dementia or whatever. So when I was ready for a heckler in the live audience, and I was ready to say, "Get your facts straight, Jack." I had a comeback just in case. But they went for it because I guess he wasn't running anymore. But the rules all changed after Biden was no longer the nominee. They became a lot looser with it. So I caught a lucky wave, I think.
Well, also, nobody else really got how to make him funny. And so they had to go. They had to go to the bullpen. They had to go to the old school. Old cast member had to bring in in
the old horse. I was like, the guy from the 80s is going to come back.
Secretariat's running?
Yeah.
But I thought the toys were all there to pick up. And by the way, and guess what? The fact of the matter is, I thought they were all there. And the whisper and the yelling, guess what? I wrote the bill because I know how to write bills. But no one did them, so I took them up.
That's right. Them up. It was all there, but that's always the case with comedy, isn't it? When you hear some guy or woman do a great joke, and you go, "Oh, yeah, that observation was there for me to make,
right in front of me."
Right.
That's why you don't want to watch comedians, right? I mean, you don't watch a lot of stand because of that.
Correct.
I assume. Yeah.
Also, it's a busman's holiday, and also most of them are not funny enough to make me LOL like you guys do. So, if there's no LOL in it for me, I mean, it's sometimes it's relevant or it's, breaking new ground. I don't give a shit about that. It's like a record review when an album comes out and they write. It's like, is the music good? Do I care that this is fucking changing music? First of all, it's not. There's so many notes and they're doing it. I just want to feel good. Okay. I'm just the young man in the 22nd row.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing like it. That's why Sebastian really stood out to me 10 years ago when he came out, Maniscalco, and was just fucking funny. I mean,
right. Yeah. There's lots of funny people out there now. Mm-hmm. But there's also a lot of this is really, emotionally satisfying. Okay.
Well, there's some really specials you see and you go, is this a stand-up comedy special? And it's more like a therapy session or something.
Right.
And you go, okay, right. This is different.
That's what I'm talking about. And look, there are people watching this now saying, oh, these three old guys.
Yeah, these three idiots.
In our day, it was so much better.
No, they don't get it. No, we get it. I get what you're doing. It's just we have a different, we were raised at a different time. Look, I could sugarcoat it, but we're tougher. And we're not even that fucking tough. We're just tougher than we're not Marines or anything.
Yeah.
You know, we're baby boomers. They thought we were soft and weak, but compared to the generation that came after us, and so they like all this like stuff that's about emotions and emo and feeling good and sharing and you know, feeling safe. You know, to us, it's like, could we just have the jokes? We're just here to have that feeling. And I don't think that's ever going to change. I think people really still, when they go out to see a comedy show, they want their stomach to hurt at the end of it. That's what I've always tried to do.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jeff Altman came up a while back. I think it was with Leno. Just where are those guys? I mean, they're just big, funny extroverts, just being ridiculous. Bruce Babyman Baum.
Bruce Baum, how funny.
Can I tell you a Jeff Altman story for the millions of people who
Well, first explain who Jeff Altman was. Pink Lady and Jeff.
You do that.
He was a comedian, 80s, 90s on Letterman a lot, and he was just a big, funny, silly, always made me laugh guy.
And Fred Silverman, who at the time was the biggest mocker in TV, I guess, was NBC. He gave him a show when he was kind of an unknown comic called Pink Lady and Jeff. And it was Jeff with two young Japanese women who I'm not sure spoke English, maybe was the joke. I don't know. You know, what you could do back then with people of a different ethnicity than you who didn't speak English was unlimited. So you could have been any, but it lasted like 2 shows. And that was bad for him. And it wasn't really his fault. You know, he was offered a primetime show on a major network at the time when there's only 3 or 4 networks.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal. But okay, so here's the story. I was out with him one night. I mean, this is probably the 90s when I was out a lot. We were young, and I don't know, we were coming from the Playboy Mansion or something. I don't know. We weren't doing that. But we were walking with 2 girls. I don't remember if they were girlfriends or people we just met, or I don't know, homeless. But we were walking on Sunset Boulevard. I think it was Sunset. Yes, we're walking like long way, like a long way to get to another bar. Probably, I'm sure that's what it was. So at one point, for no reason, Jeff just breaks out running like as fast as he can ahead of us, and that alone was funny. And like 4 blocks later, we're walking along, and I look to the side, and there's a little doorstep going down toward a door, and there he is pretending to be passed out in the door help. You know, the commitment to that, to run ahead and wait, passed out on the pavement, just so that when I came upon him, it would get a laugh. That was Jeff Altman to me.
I'm sure he's still around. If he's listening right now, Jeff.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
When I started the improv, the board, that chalkboard up there was like Bill, maybe some Jeff Altman, maybe some Belzer, Leno. Remember?
You're talking about your whole at the clubs?
At the Improv Club on Melrose when I first started.
Sure.
All these guys were great. Everybody was funny. And I was trying to worm my way in. Bill, I had a question for you. Serious question. Did you get one of those Medal of Freedoms the other day they were passing out?
Oh, yeah, I did. And I put it with the others. I mean, I have a drawer full, but I could always use more.
Yeah.
No, I'm not. I'm not what they call award bait. What'd you think of the Golden Globes?
Golden Globes.
The Golden Globes. I think it's an ongoing thing of like how many people have seen the movies.
Oh, exactly.
That's a problem.
I thought it was a tutorial in why Trump won the election.
Well,
but no, really.
Why is that so funny?
It is because
I want to hear. I want to hear because no one was really too political. There was a couple like in these troubled times, but nothing super overt.
No, but it's first of all, the fact that they have a special award for, I don't know what they call it, blockbuster, or it's like
box office or something.
Movies people like.
Yeah.
Which actually used to be what an award show was, movies people liked and saw. But Dana, you're right. I mean, so many, I watched it as an instructive because I just was familiarized with so many movies and TV shows that I had never heard of or barely heard of. Some I want to see. I want to see the Jesse Eisenberg one because I love him and I think he does great stuff and that looks fun. And there's a few others, but yeah, and it's just like this other world that what the right would call the leftist elitists, and they're not completely wrong about that, that they live in this world and everybody else lives in this other world. And, I know during the election, the Democrats were like, if we can just get Taylor Swift to endorse Joe, this will put him over the top. And, they got every big star. And I think it actually hurt because people don't look at these celebrities like, oh, they're just like us. They're not just like you. They have no idea what life is like, real life. And a show like this, it comes across that way. And it just makes people go, oh, fuck these people and their insular world. I also,
I was just thinking about movie actors and where else do we praise people with that kind of hyperbole? His performance is nothing short of a miracle.
Right.
Really?
And everyone is,
Was it?
and everyone who puts on a fake nose is brave. It was a brave performance. A brave performance is the Battle of Fallujah. Okay, that was brave. Just uglying yourself
Omaha
up.
Beach was brave.
Just uglying yourself up for a movie. That's not brave. It would be brave if you're going to permanently stay ugly, but you're not.
Disfigure yourself. Yeah.
But I thought our girl Nikki did great.
Yeah, Nikki
she did great. This is not an easy room, and she had great jokes. Poise.
Yeah, I think I would like to see her do it again because she aired correctly on the side of this isn't a roast. Exactly. Right. Okay, these people.
Slight caution.
Yeah, these are all a bunch of divas in this room. Don't make the mistake that Joe Coy, I think, did the year before. And, don't ever blame them. They're perfect.
Oh, no, you never turn.
They're the A-listers. I would like to see her do it again and again because I read her interview about it and she said she wanted to be like Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, who did great with it. But I want to see her be Ricky Gervais. But she does not have the stature yet. And she's correct in assessing that. I told her that. You don't have the stature yet. She knows this. You have to have stature. I mean, Ricky, when he did it, he was one of them. He was, first of all, he had fuck you money. He was a big producer. He had done lots of, The Office alone made him very rich.
Highly respected.
Highly respected, and just the attitude of I don't give a fuck if you ask me back on this show or not. I'm gonna take the piss out of you people, and I'm gonna be drunk when I do it. That's what I want to see on the Golden Globes. Now she's not ready to do that yet, and she made the right decision not to. But I'd love to see her do it someday.
But I never get tired of that because I'll click on Ricky Gervais, so I get the YouTube shorts and his speech, and I don't know if it was his last one. He's got the beer. You know nothing. You are nothing.
Right.
Just come up, get your little award, thank your fucking God, or something like that. I mean, It was so not television. But I think it was his last one. And I'm interested in celebrity net worth only because of how it would affect the mind of the performer. And if you have 100 million net, you live in a little village in England, you're like, I'm still dancing for my donuts. I don't, I'd like to feel that one day.
I like last night when the brutalist guy goes,
brutalist.
The guy goes, brutalist, he goes, he says, give directors the final cut, which fair enough. And then he goes, by the way, it's 3.5 hours. So he's like, they all said it wouldn't be a hit. I'm like, it's literally made $1 million worldwide. And the people are scratching their heads going, I mean, it's a hit. I mean, you won this.
Okay.
So this is the illusion. It's the biggest hit in the world.
I only got through the first 2/3 of it. What won? Sure. The Brutalist?
Then it really picks up.
Brutalist, I think. Brutalist took.
People tell me that. Wait, Dana, when I watch when I watch a show on Netflix and they go, the first 7 episodes are shitty.
Right.
I go, what are you still doing there?
Right.
Get the fuck out. Like, go ahead, Dana.
I like Landman. The thing that blew me away, was Adrian Brody, right? Great actor. He's done. He's a very serious guy.
Terrific.
Seems super likable, like an open wound. Brilliant actor. And then, with no judgment, his wife was with Harvey Weinstein and then went to Adrian Brody. What? That's a pretty big leap. That's a different kind of husband.
Well, okay. Can I defend that a little bit?
No, I just explain.
No. I mean, I talked to Adrian and his girlfriend. I don't know if they're married.
Georgina, is it?
Yes.
I'm sure she's lovely. I would just go,
She
got
is.
a really nice guy now.
Right.
Harvey was tough. Yeah.
But I don't think she knew Harvey was doing what he was doing when she was with him. And as soon as she found out, she was in a cab. So I talked to them at the Oscar party, the Vanity Fair Oscar party, I think 2 years ago. They couldn't have been nicer. And it seemed, it seemed like a genuinely good relationship. So, I mean, I don't know if there's anything there because again,
that explains it. That explains it.
I don't think she knew. Nobody was talking about Harvey Weinstein until it broke. I mean, did you know? I didn't know. I mean, he was always nice to me, as John Lovett used to say about OJ.
He was always nice to me.
I wasn't thinking so much of the
That is what he used to say, by the way. He was always nice to me. He never slit my throat. Okay.
Never killed me.
Just as a type. I wasn't thinking so much about the sexual escapades. It's just a type, because we knew Harvey was an aggressive kind of bulldog, and Adrian's a sensitive soul from afar. So that's just an interesting dichotomy.
But neither one of them is like traditionally handsome, because women are deeper than we are, so they go for something. Yeah, thank God.
Didn't Aristotle Onassis, that was his first line to a woman, was, "I'm an ugly man." Okay?
Right.
That was his first line, but...
Yeah, but
second line was, "I'm a rich one."
This is the USS Aristotle.
Yeah, he wasn't that bad. I mean, Jackie, he had, well, first of all, we only got to know him when he was old. I never knew about him until he married Jackie O, right? I mean, that's sort of put him on the map, I mean, and I think what he offered her was something she was looking for, an island. To hide. To hide from the paparazzi and so forth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Totally. Women are more evolved than we are.
Well, also, Bill,
I could not agree more.
Were there some of these movies and TV shows?
That's all I
saw that Challengers was, which I saw.
Me too. Liked it.
I don't know if it was a comedy or a musical, but
I don't understand it either, but I liked it.
I liked it. And I think they go, it'd be great to have Zendaya here.
I think that's true with a lot of people that were there.
A lot of it. Yeah. No, listen, Zendaya's great. She was great.
Oh, she's great.
Everything. But, and she should be there. Now, could they just make a category for challengers like they did with the box office one?
Why is the Bear up against Only Murders in the Building? I mean, why is Martin Short up against Jeremy Allen White?
But go back. What won? I don't know what won. I haven't seen
the. Good question.
He usually wins, Jeremy Allen.
No, what won the best movie?
Oh, the best movie?
Okay, what? You don't know
what won anything? The Brutalist. Didn't The Brutalist win the best drama movie?
What is The Brutalist about?
It's got...
Jesus Christ, I feel like I'm in 7th grade all of a sudden here. Suddenly the pop quiz from the...
Well, let me see. I'm going to look it up. Can we get our Google guy to do it? That's me.
Oh, good. Dennis Miller's here.
Billy Maher. Gotta love Billy Maher, the perennial teenager thing working out for you, Got the man cave with the pool table. How's that circa Troy Donahue motif, Kind of the youth that never end. No, I love Dennis, and he's one of the fucking funniest humans.
Well, you certainly are when you parody.
Oh, I love doing him, and he improves my vocabulary. Okay, got a little tissue in the back there in case he gets a little. watery-eyed over that
Yeah.
medication he needs every
Yeah,
other
that's-
day at this point. Okay.
That's you and your funny impressions.
All right, I'm going to read you some winners, guys.
Oh, great.
Okay.
Drama, musical or comedy motion picture. They're sort of covering their bases here.
That must have been Wicked.
Oh no, it was Amelia Perez that beat fucking Wicked.
Oh,
Perez won everything. Wicked got the best big,
Well, it's always a contest.
commercial film.
It's always a contest to be which can be the most virtue signaling and politically correct, which is again why Trump won, because people just want entertainment. So, like, even though Wicked, I didn't see Wicked, but I know someone who's in her 20s and went to see it with someone who's like, I think her sister or something, who was like, a teenager, and the teenager didn't even like it and thought it was too preachy.
Wicked?
Yeah, Wicked.
Is this our Barbie this year? What is it?
Well, I haven't seen it, but that was the report from a 18-year-old girl. Too preachy, and it just okay. So I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe
what
it is.
Amelia Perez about?
Good question. That was my next question.
About a woman named Amelia Perez. That's the limit of my knowledge.
Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
Spanish. Okay. I also was Different Man the one you're talking about with Jesse Eisenberg?
See, that one okay. If that's Jesse's movie, then I want to see that, but I've not really been familiarized with it, and I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, you're really nailing these.
Culkin got the sidekick. One of the Culkin brothers won.
Yes, he did. Karen, one of the listen to you, Grandpa. Karen Culkin. Yes.
Guess
Kip
what?
Culkin.
Guess who knew the Culkin brothers back in 1990? Yeah, Kieran was like my shadow when his brother was hosting.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I saw some activity with his father, and I knew what was going on, and I had the same kind of.
You're like Michael Jackson,
family situation.
Cornered the other one.
Wait, I'm interested. What was going on?
I just saw, my friend and I have this phrase, the Turner phrase of an insecure man, a hurting cowboy. So I saw that his dad was a hurting cowboy. He suddenly was that his name? And I could tell that was a rough dad to have, And
what is the cowboy meaning?
A hurting cowboy, an insecure man. I've always told anyone there's nothing more dangerous than a man with alcohol in him who's insecure after midnight.
Right. I would agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the fun stuff, guys.
Let's go. Let's go back. All right. That's
okay.
Carvey's
actually,
showstopper.
Bill will be happy to know Wicked did come through. They had to make one up. That's cinematic box office achievement. Obviously, you just look in the paper. What made the most money? Okay.
Right. That's all that is.
Yeah. Zoe Saldana won supporting actress and Amelia Perez.
I saw that, and I'm sure she's a lovely person, but like again. The level to which these people are seduced by winning a little trophy is something. I mean, just the
speeches. You mean?
Well, just the overflowing emotion that, like, oh my God, you like me and you gave me this trophy, and they're just overcome. It's very hard to watch. I couldn't watch a show like this in real time. I taped it and then watched it in the bathtub with the clicker. I mean, with the remote, being able to zip through the things that I just can't take. Yeah. And the things I just can't take are the speeches. And also the speeches, and also the little patter that they give the presenters before so I can't do it. So I had to go through those, and then I got to, and this is what the nominees are. And it educated me on all these shows that I will never see.
Even the closed captioning is tough to get through sometimes, because I read what they're saying and I'm like, oof.
What is The Brutalist about?
It's about, I told you, there's something about the
immigrant,
Holocaust.
right?
Something
about immigrating to America and the difficulties of that experience.
Just immigration is a big year. I mean, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Again, another reason why Trump won, because these people think unlimited open borders is what we should be championing. And Americans kind of don't agree with that, including people of color who voted more for Trump than they ever did for a Republican. But okay.
Majority of Latino men, but for whatever reason. Yeah.
Well, for whatever
reason.
Majority.
I mean, no, but over 50%.
Yeah.
Democrats are got to
Yeah.
be.
Yeah. And they keep digging their hole bigger because they don't get it, that they keep talking about, oppression, and there is oppression, of course. But most of these people were saying, you know what's oppressive to me? The price of eggs.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what's oppressing me. Deal with that.
Yeah. The one's right in front of me. The eggs. They're expensive.
There's no such thing as inflation's under control. Remember when gas prices started going up, and he's saying the stuff that's talked about in the back room? This could be a good thing. Hasten transition to away from fossil fuels.
Bill, I swear you could have jumped into that Medal of Freedom ceremony and he wouldn't have noticed his throat around your neck. He was out of it. This guy did some shit. There you go. Okay, next.
Is it true you have 40 nominations but not a win?
Correct. And I think that really says more about them than me. But let's move on.
I blame Gervitz.
Well, it's impossible to win now. You're the wrong
Demi
flavor.
Moore won for The Substance. Actress in a musical or comedy. Was that a musical or comedy? Was it?
Okay, I saw that one.
Okay, go.
Really hard to watch because have you seen it?
No. Someone warned me off it. They said you wouldn't be able to handle it.
I couldn't handle. I literally was watching it through my fingers because it's so over the top with what they do to her. It's a good idea, and there are parts of it I liked. But it was just too hard to watch. She is a woman of a certain age who wants to recapture youth, and then there's some thing that somebody invented that she can inject herself
Magical
with.
Potion.
Right, and like she leaves her old self lying in the closet for a week, and the new version of her goes out. And then she gets hooked on it and you have to do it in a certain way. She fucks it up. So then she becomes this grotesque figure.
Oh.
And they just take it to a degree that's just, for me, it was too much. But I get the idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, it was making a comment about how we judge older people by their looks. And that's not right.
Applause.
Applause.
Right. I get it. It's not right, but we do it.
And to me, that's all ass backwards, because if you were really mature, what you would understand is that life is a series of trade-offs. When you're young, you're stupid and beautiful, and then you get older and you get smarter and worse looking. And mature people throughout the ages and all cultures have just accepted that. Not us.
Not Hollywood.
We have to be sexy until you're 1,000,000 years old, and anyone says different is bad.
I'm lucky.
They're not just wrong.
Sexy.
They're bad.
Yeah. They're bad. They're bad
That's the
people.
difference.
Well, to me, first of all, could not look any better. I mean, for being in this movie about looking good, she looks great.
Who?
Demi Moore.
Yeah, but she doesn't look like she's 25.
No,
which is the point of the movie.
She actually a different actress that plays her, right?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Yeah. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, it's Margaret Qualley, who is 25.
Yeah,
I did kind of like her speech because she has been. The idea that I thought I was kind of done, really done, so that was unexpected.
No, I loved her speech. That's one speech I watched, and it was great. First of all, it was in control. It was planned. She had a little thing to say. It was succinct. And she said, I love the part she said, some producer told me a long, long time ago, you're a popcorn actress.
Yeah.
You'll do well in movies that make money, but no, you're not going to win awards. So I thought that was terrific.
What's funny is, first of all, I think she's great. Second of all, I just want someone in a speech to go, you know what someone told me once? You're going to be great. They never mention that. It's always the one guy that told him you'll never make it. But there's a lot of people along the way that say you'll probably be great.
Did you have that, Bill? I mean, did you have a struggle where they didn't know what to do with you? Because you were in a half-hour sitcom first, right? Before doing real time.
Were you one of the Pink Ladies?
I did 4 sitcoms.
4 that made it to air?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I did Sarah with Gina Davis. I did Hard Knocks, one of the first sitcoms on Showtime. I was 2 mismatched detectives, if you can believe a thing like that.
I'm in.
Were you in the show called, I think it's I've Had Just About Enough of You? Was that you?
No, I never heard
I
of
just
that.
made that up. But go ahead. Titles are funny. Bill Maher is Hard Knocks. All right. So.
I was in Bringing Up Chunky. I was the neighbor. No, and then I did one with Sam Kinison. I can't remember the name of that.
Wow.
It was with Tim
what year?
I don't know, right before he died, because he was a heroin addict who kept everybody waiting for hours while he sobered up.
I want to see the script where in parentheses, after Sam, it says in parentheses, screams this next line.
Yeah.
Every line is in all caps.
Yeah.
So was that your dream?
Sam's great.
Or you weren't thinking about hosting the Tonight Show or anything? You were thinking
Did
of
you ever
an
host
actor?
the Tonight Show?
No, I did not host it. I've been on it, like, I don't know, 40 times or something. But no, I always wanted to do pretty much what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started, like I think a lot of us, the template was, well, you get on the Tonight Show, you do your little 6 minutes, little monkey goes out there and makes people laugh
Monkey,
with
monkey.
good, clean material.
Good, clean,
and then
fun.
Right. And then you get a sitcom like Robin Williams did, and Roseanne
Tim
and
Allen.
Freddie Prinze,
Billy
Tim
Crystal.
Allen. Yeah. Well, that was a little before my time.
Movie,
but
which is even bigger deal.
The idea is that you're going to get a sitcom based on you being a comedian, sometimes based on who you actually are as a comedian. And that's what happened to me. I did my 4 or 5 Tonight Shows. I got on a big show, a sitcom with on NBC that was on after Family Ties. It was a big thing with a big producer, Gary David Goldberg. That was. Yeah. So that put me on that path. And then I did, okay, so I'm that funny guy. I can do DC Cab and I can do, these, funny little movies. And so that was really how I spent the 80s. And it was, but it's okay because I would not have had the gravitas in my 20s to do a show about politics. Who's going to listen to somebody that age? You shouldn't. So it came out just pretty much the way it should have.
And the technology. So cable TV was starting and going, and then that expanded. There weren't places to do a talk show besides the major networks in the 80s, right? So
yeah, I mean, when I went on with Politically Incorrect in 1993,
Comedy Central.
Yeah, Comedy Central, and that was the right place. Yeah, for the show like that was, had nothing to lose. And you could put a guy on.
A little controversy.
Yeah.
They like.
Yeah. Super cheap to make. Just get some chairs.
Yeah. Me, very cheap at the time.
Were you cheap at that time? Okay.
Very cheap.
When did you first get rich? Like, you don't have to tell a number. When did you first get a big, big paycheck and kind of went, holy shit?
Well, I thought when I did that first sitcom, I remember my salary was $7,500 a week. Previously had been my yearly earnings.
Of course, yeah.
As a comedian. A little more than that yearly, but maybe not really when I lived in New York. So that was like 1984. That was my second year out here. And, to jump up to that was huge. I immediately went to a store called Maxwell's, which was like this.
What a loser.
Do you know the store?
No, but it just sounds funny. The guy gets money, goes right to Maxwell's.
It was this clothing store. I think it was on Melrose or Robertson. And it was like where rock stars went. And all the clothes were unique and hysterically awful if you saw them today. But, I could buy a sport coat for $1,500 or something. Yeah. That was ridiculous. But, I never was able to do that before.
Yeah. Wow. Sure. I that was the salary I got for One of the Boys with Mickey Rooney and Nathan Lane in 1981 in New York. My first sitcom. Yeah.
Mickey Rooney. That takes you back. To work with a guy who was able to portray an Asian person
in 1962
in a movie and no one objected.
And he probably got an award for it.
And with buck teeth, it was such a
chewing on a log or something, eating crickets.
Grotesque stereotype. I can't even do it.
But Jerry Lewis did it too.
By the way, in a crazy story that ties in Bill and Dana, we have the same management, and he says one time I go up for a sitcom, and they want me so bad. They say, we're going to audition you to the network and then 7 people for the other guy. I was like, fuck yeah. So I, of course, make my deal for like $25,000 for a pilot. So I'm basically spending the money. So I go there, and the first read, they go, great. The second read, they go, maybe a little more energy on this one. Third read, they go, new guy with me. And they go, maybe a little less energy on this. Now I see them sweating. Then they go, maybe we'll just for laughs switch parts just to mix things up. Just you read his, he'll read yours.
Oh,
and I, by the way, I see nothing wrong. I'm like, cool. I'm adaptable. I don't realize there's places on fire. And so I finish. I go to see Mark Gervitz, our manager, and I walk in. He goes, all the people that just made $30,000 as a pilot, take one step forward. Not so fast, Spade.
Really?
That's how he told me. I go, what are you talking about? He goes, how did you ruin that? You were the only one up for your part. I go, what?
Well, I can tell you exactly how, because I remember those days, and not fondly. But here's the deal. You go in to read first, and we're comics.
Right.
So we already have an advantage because before you get to read, you usually have a little chit chat with the writer producers. By the way, I was so green when I started that I didn't realize that the producers were the writers. And one time I said to the producers, who wrote this shit? Not realizing it was them. But okay, so we go in, and being comics, we can get them laughing before we even start reading the shit. So like we warm up the crowd, and then it's like, oh, we're laughing. This guy's funny. Now we're going to read it. You read it the first time, and you're funnier than the fucking actors if it's a silly sitcom. So you kill. So they bring you back. But now they've heard you do it once. So you do it again, and they're still laughing, but it's kind of getting old. Yeah. And by the 8th time they brought you back, it just looks stale because they've heard you do it so much. And then they bring in somebody who's not as good, but it's fresh. The reading is fresh, and they look better. And that's how
they've heard about your story that happened on the 405 on the way there 6 times. So it's like, that's not funny anymore. Now it's
Bill, did you ever walk into an audition room and see sort of versions of yourself? Because case in point, I walk in and see weak chin, baby-faced, androgynous young men.
Here's my
women.
All right, here's Bill's story. Go ahead.
Here's my story about that. Exactly what you're talking about. I walked into one, and Charles Fleischer. We know Charles Fleischer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, how would you describe Charles Fleischer?
Impossible.
Oh my goodness.
Eccentric,
funny.
Quirky.
He was Roger Rabbit.
Right? Roger Rabbit. Yeah.
Roger Rabbit.
Was he the first one to do where he put the stool upside down? I think maybe Rob did it later. Oh, seating for 4 gay men. He put the stool upside down.
Turned the stool upside down. Table for 4, something.
Table for 4 gay men. I thought that was Charlie Fleischer.
But he had a kind of a mad scientist look about him.
Yeah, mad scientist, crazy
smart.
hair.
Okay, so I walk in, and we have a little conversation. He goes, okay, pricks over here, nuts over here. Because I was always like the sarcastic, the prick part, and I was sitting with the pricks, and he was over there with the guy who's the nut. Like, that's what a sitcom had. It had a prick and it had a nut. When I did Sarah, I remember the ad came out in TV Guide, and it had the 4 of us, Gina Davis, Academy Award nominee Alfre Woodard, great Bronson Pinchot, and me, and a little description of who we were. And under mine, it said, The Office Creep. So that's
a good spinoff.
That's what I was playing. I was Marty, the Office Creep.
Well, they have to have a Kramer or someone to come in and be funny. That's usually the ones you try to get. But
that's the Fleischer part.
Yeah,
the nut. He's the nut.
I did a pilot with Kramer. With
oh, you did?
Yeah, what's his real name?
Michael.
From Seinfeld. Michael. Yeah.
And
called City Slickers. I was the cop in the little town, and I was the straight man, and he was the wacky New York police detective.
He was the wacky, and you weren't?
No, I was always cast as a straight man. Every pilot, I was on 2 TV shows, one with James Ferrantino. I was straight man, always a straight man, always until SNL.
Can I ask something of you guys about aging here? Because I'm just picturing people watching this, listening to this, who are the age we were when we
Yeah.
were listening to, I don't know, Shecky Green and George
Don
Burns.
Rickles.
Yes, and just first of all, we wanted to be comics, so we love those guys. But the idea that we're the old guys is just it's just mind blowing because in our minds,
Yes.
we're not. You know, in our minds, we're the same guys. But I know people. How can these guys have stories about the 80s if they're not fucking 80s?
I remember hearing that Norm Crosby, who was maybe 56 at the time, was bugging his manager, Bernie Brillstein, really wanted a sitcom. And I was thinking, at that age?
Fucking
what does he
retire,
expect? At 56?
Get the fuck out of here.
I mean, anybody in our age group, when I went back to SNL, I'm riffing and talking to Marcelo. He's 27. And we're just like peers working on stuff. And I'm grandpa age.
Yeah, you don't feel like
technically I'm old enough to be the
Marcelo's
grandfather.
like, who's James Ferrantino? And you're like, oh. He's a guy that.
But I would love to have had a podcast. If Carson afterwards he quit the show, had a podcast where he was real and talking about stuff, might have been really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't exist.
Yeah, and at his height, I think he was getting 17 million a night for a show that went on at 11:30.
I mean, a year, right? 17 million a night.
Yeah. Yeah, 17 million viewers, I think.
17 million viewers. Yeah, at least. Yeah.
Not money. Yeah, viewers.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, primetime shows don't often get a tenth of that.
No.
No.
But what if there were 4 million other talk shows on?
I know.
Yeah.
That's a hard part.
That's the difference between podcasting and broadcast television from that era. If there were 4 million people instead of just Alan Thicke trying to dethrone Johnny.
But you might find this interesting, that the baby boomers for the first time, when we grew up, it was 18 to 49 for the advertisers. That's where the money is.
Right.
And the boomers have 78 trillion for the first time because the homes we bought escalated and everything. So the money is being tilted toward us, the Bachelorette and, the Golden Bachelor, stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting that we're the rich demographic, unfortunately, for the young people. They can't buy homes.
But a lot of that money is being transferred to the younger generations
during the next 20 years. So by the time the kid's 57, he can buy a home.
Well, okay, but a lot of that money is just being passed down, especially when they're in their 20s and 30s. So I know we're squares and everything's bad and we ruined the world, but they're not saying no to the money. I notice.
Oh no! Well, what in your poorest days, just describe your apartment. How much was it? Did you have rabbit ears for a TV? Was it to live alone?
Oh, I was really poor from college, really freshman year of college until I moved out here. I would say I really experienced what poverty was. Now, not to sound like Shecky Green or Alan King or guys in the old days, but I'm going to sound like it when I say, but we didn't know we were poor. Because we had love.
That's a good character. You should do that. I like that guy.
Well, okay, but like when I look back at college, I lived in slums. My first year, I lived in dorm 4, which was temporary housing built in 1945, which was still up in the 70s. My room was the size of a closet, which I shared with somebody. The bathroom was at the end of the hall, and boy, did that stink on a Sunday night. Then there was Ithaca, New York. This is where I was at Cornell. I mean, you moved into a frat, which I didn't want to do. It also, of course, was not even close to being invited. But okay, let's just say I didn't want to do it. So you moved into College Town, which were slums. Yeah. I mean, it was like Appalachia up there, and these towny slums. Yeah, shout out to Appalachia. These slum lords, and they had this automatic supply of tenants because every year new college kids need a place to live, so they didn't have to make the places acceptable. They were horrible. And then I moved to New York. Oh my God!
Worse.
First, I lived in Spanish Harlem. I walked home every night at 2 a.m. from the clubs into a pretty rough neighborhood. Never was bothered. They looked at me and went, "This guy has nothing. He's just got the t-shirt on his back, and there's no reason to try to rob him." And it was a 5-floor walk up. The bathroom, it did have a bathroom, but it was just what they called a water closet. It was just a hole with a chain where you could take a dump. No shower. You sat in a tub in the kitchen with one of those attachments.
Okay, this is getting good. This is getting up there. You got
then I had my first apartment on 8th Avenue over a bus stop. It was at least my own. It was a studio, which means one little room. But that was, and I used to live on the Blimpies. That was across the street. It was $1.90 for a 3-cheese sub. That's what. So, like, I love that I had that experience. I don't remember loving it at the time, but it's good for you, And I always had too much pride to ever ask. I guess I could have asked my parents for a little help. They weren't doing too well at the time either. But it just never entered my mind to like reach out, because it was like, no, let's just thug it out.
Yeah.
And then how many years after your first set did you make a living as a stand-up? How long did it take you?
Well, okay, so my rent at the shitbox on 8th Avenue, it started out at $250 in 1980 or 79 or something. And then it was automatically rose 9% a year. So say I was paying like $300. Yeah, I could make rent, and probably food was like another $100 a month. So say my whole nut was $500. Okay, by 1980, I was emceeing at Catch a Rising Star. So you got $50 a night for that. Okay. And if I did maybe 1 or 2 out of town gigs, I really wasn't ready for that, but I took some, and it was terrible experiences when I bombed, but okay, that's part of it. So I could probably live, and I also sold pot. That was really how I lived. So between the pot and the emceeing, yeah, I could make my nut by 1980.
Nice.
Bill, I have a question about
inspirational for children, isn't it?
Bill, on your show now on HBO,
what's that called again?
Real Time, and it comes back January 17th. My special is on January 10th.
Friday, January 10th.
But I have a real time question too. I know there was an ABC. You left there eventually. You go to, I think it's straight to HBO. You've been there ever since. And is there there must be some things you get into that ruffle feathers, or is there just kind of autonomy? You do what you want.
Who writes these questions for you?
Because
seriously,
shockingly,
that sounds like some producer wrote that question.
No, it's AI. I just asked.
And certainly, you don't have a producer on this show. I mean, it's obvious.
We barely have me and Dana.
We buy the mics and the lights, and we do everything.
This is the most dog shit, low end, lo-fi.
Yeah. Trust me, we know. But that's what works. That's what works about it.
It's no Club Random. That's a sweet thing you've got. Those embedded
the difference
cameras.
Is, I'll answer. Yeah, he's like the Club Random's like The Bachelor. They have like cameras on the way in, and we introduce.
Hey, you and I are the last 2 bachelors. And by the way, speaking of that, right. I think a great show would be one of us, mostly probably me, doing the Golden Bachelor, but like our real lives, not with an age appropriate woman, because that's boring. With an age inappropriate woman, because you know what the appropriate age for a relationship is? One that works.
Yeah.
Look at Bill Belichick, 73 and 22, and they seem happy.
Or Cher.
Or Madonna.
Exactly. Yes. Madonna, they go for the 20s as well. It seems to me, and I want you to comment on this, when women get power, they seem to go younger, like men who get power go younger.
Yeah, absolutely. That happens. Kate Beckinsale went out with Pete Davidson, and I think a few other younger guys. And yeah, I mean, and when they do it, when they do it, it's empowering. When men do it, we're perverts.
Good for her. Yeah.
I never felt that. I remember you said everyone wanted you to get married. And I go, no one wants you to get married.
People do married,
but there are people who do. But I would think it's absurd. And I also think that since women are wired differently, it's not like they're with someone wealthy and famous. They're literally really attracted to the personality that does stuff. I mean, it takes a lot of something to get where you're at. And that's attractive to a woman.
Yes. Well, as we were saying before, women are deeper, and we're going to keep telling ourselves that. No, it's. But don't you think that would be a great show? The Golden Bachelor, but with women that David and I are attracted to, and that doesn't make us bad people.
I keep getting roped
David?
into it. Well, yeah, I don't think it should be me or you, but we should get a guy. And
no, it has to be a comedian. It's
it has
funny.
to be
it is funny.
you guys.
They should have a comedian.
It's funny
anyway. But yes,
and you know what the title of it is, and this is from Mickey Rooney because I asked him, how did you have sex with all those starlets? He's 5 feet tall in the 1940s. Right. He said, "quote Money makes you handsomer."
Right.
Yeah, true.
What was the line he had when he brought? I think it was Jane Mansfield up on the stage at an award show when he was right at tit level, and he had some great line.
Give me them milkers.
Something like "It's not bad being short." I forget what it was, but it was a great moment.
Well, I think we'd be more normal if I was married and divorced. I would be more normal.
More usual, yes.
Then never married. Where did the phrase come up?
Weirder.
Confirmed bachelor. Are you guys
does that
confirmed?
Mean gay?
Yes, in the old days, that was a no. Seriously,
I think I've said it about myself.
Code for gay, right?
Yes, that was a euphemism for gay. Okay. Just the way in Hollywood, a woman's director was code for a gay director.
Oh,
I think George Cukor, for example. But if I'm wrong about that, please don't.
Sorry, George.
He may have been the most he-maniest of the guys. I think that's who I'm talking about. But there was ones who were, gay directors, and he was a woman's director. They were very genteel in those days. They didn't say things outright.
Mm-hmm. I've been described as a female comic, whatever that means. Means I won't say. Okay, so Bill, thanks for coming. We can wrap him up. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
He did a great job, Bill.
He's got a life to lead.
We're going to give you your evaluation after. I'm going to. You really kind of barked at me toward the end, but overall, I think we had a good run here.
I enjoyed it because, and you do this as well, as long with everything else you do. The best podcasts are when you're never checking the clock. And I didn't check the clock on this one. I just enjoyed it.
Oh, I could talk to you guys all day, and you're so funny. And I know that sounds like I'm just kissing up.
I don't think you're the kind of guy that kisses up, though.
But I was
whatever you say, I believe you think.
I was just going to say, I think I have the credibility at this point, having lost 40 Emmys, that my billboard. I think they're putting up. They're doing a replay of one I had from 10 years ago. They were going over you've been on a long time. They got to come up with new catchphrases. Sure. And they came to the end of it and they were like, oh, we're I could tell they were kind of afraid to try this one. I was like, just say it. We don't have anything. And it was, he's not in it for the likes. And I was like, I love that so fucking much. And so I think the one this year says he's still not in it for the likes, which I love. I'm not. I love being honest. That's my reward. So when I say you guys are the killing is funniest, you can take that to the bank, as Robert Blake used to say. Whatever happened to him?
He just went in to get his gun. It was in the restaurant, and he came back out.
He likes Italian food. That's all I know.
He forgot it, and then he went and got it.
Okay, you both owe me a new Club Random episode.
Oh my
we're
God!
Gonna be on
is this
there.
how it works? Oh my God!
That's how it works.
I want to go on there again. That was really interesting. That was cool. I liked it. I'm going to get blasted this time.
Me
though.
too.
Thanks, Bill. Miss you.
Thanks, you too.
Enjoyed it.
Talk to you soon.
Take care, buddy.
Bye.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review. All this stuff, smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman. So, Dana, we're excited to have our first repeat guest on Fly on the Wall, Dennis Miller, who we both love, grew up with, and you knew him before I did, and you guys are great friends, and
we go back to the very beginning. I remember playing a comedy club with Dennis Miller in 1981, the Comedy Magic Club. When I first got to know him, he says, I got no gigs, Carvey. Got no gigs.
No gig. By the way, he's probably the second most person you do on the show. Who's number one? Is it Trump or Biden or what?
I would say Lauren because, but Dennis is a close second. And it's fun to try to process the way his mind thinks. When you think of a thing, it'd be like Carvey and Spudley doing the classic intro, a little long on the keep cup. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but his mind, well, anyway, you'll enjoy this because a couple of years have gone by. So there's just a lot of stuff to talk about. And his mind is razor sharp and really fun to listen to. Sharp.
We cover a lot of bases and we mostly just crack up. Yeah, we mostly just laugh. So
you're just laughing.
You'll just watch me and Dana basically just listen to Dennis crack up.
And I will say the one and only, I mean, he has a singular voice in stand-up, which is amazing. The one and only Dennis Miller.
Hey, Davey, what's that? Enter the Dragon skateboard? What are you,
my
fucking
Bruce Lee
60?
skateboard.
You're 60 years old now?
Dennis, I'm a skater at heart.
Let me get a hat on. I look like a man.
No way. We're not even showing this part, boss. But you look good. No, you look good though.
What do you mean? My hair looks all fucked up.
It's up to you, but yeah, this is just audio.
So, Spudley, I'll start you off by putting you on comfortable home ground. As the great Jim Kelly said, ghettos are the same all over the world. And then he flipped an ollie. Okay, let's go.
Jim Kelly, the quarterback? I'm sorry. Who is that?
No, there was a guy in Enter the Dragon with Spade. And at the beginning, he's riding a junk. And he looks around and he goes, ghettos are the same all over the world.
That's fantastic.
Dana. And then an ollie is a skateboard trick, Dana. Wake up.
I know. Dennis. I am waking up. Are you kidding?
All right, boys. Let's rock this.
Go. Who played the bad guy? What actor played the bad guy in Enter the Dragon?
I don't know.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
No, that was it.
No, it was John somebody. He had a kind of a comb over. A good actor, anyway.
It was. I remember Joseph Weissman played Dr. No, who was and he was in Detective Story with Kirk Douglas, and I think they patterned Hong after him. Anyway, let's go on with the air.
No, this is what we're doing. This is great.
This is the beef of What is the beef of the whole show?
I'm grading this as A+ podcasting so far.
I auditioned for Dr. Yes, and my whole part got cut out.
Spade, your hair looks good, man. What are you doing?
My hair looks good today. Why are we on fucking camera? Jesus.
I know. He's got volume. He's got lift. He's got something going on.
Jesus, I'm sitting over. I look like...
Okay, here it goes.
Look at my hair. Everybody else looks good. I was the first one in on plugs, and they're not working for me.
We'll do a whole thing.
We just had Joel McHale on.
Yeah.
And his hair looks great. And he fully admits he's got more plugs than the last 2 minutes of Carson.
Yeah. Jesus.
It's your joke.
That's a Dennis joke, a class.
How many times have you Dennis jokes?
Are we on the air, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I was on the Tonight Show one night after I got my plugs. I was talking to Jay, and we had a fallow moment, as it were, because I had nothing to plug. So, ironically, I said, "Hey, Jay, I just got hair plugs." He's, "Nah, you didn't. Hair looks great." And I said, "No, Jay, I'm telling you, I got hair plugs, and I'm healed up now, and I want to show them off." So I went up to the camera, the number one camera, and put my head down. I said, "I've got around 5,200 plugs here," and came back, and Jay said, "You're not kidding, are you?" I said, "No." And the next day, I got calls from some of the most famous craniums in the world asking me where, I won't betray their trust, even though some of them have passed on now, but saying, "Where did you get your plugs?" And they said, do they have a back door? I said, yeah, but why use a back door? You just go get hair plugs if you need hair plugs. And the guy, my doctor, eventually called me when I needed some more, and he said, you're comped. Don't pull coin in my town. I've gotten so many, recommendation heads off you.
You reorientated the skulls of several hundred men in Southern California. And that is if you have your legacy as one of the all-time great comedians, but this legacy we've heard about today, helping people with their appearance, their self-esteem. I'm calling myself happy, and I'm glad this was
well, like anything like plastic surgery or something, you notice the bad ones, but there's so many people that have different things they've done that you just would never know. And they just go, that guy looks pretty good.
Yeah, Ellen Burstyn always looked great. I consider myself now in retirement, I consider myself not a life coach, but rather a life assistant coach, where I don't have anything. I don't speak to the press on a daily basis. I have nothing to do with the overall organization, but I consider myself the strength coach for
I hired a life assistant coach, a little cheaper. I just stole your joke, switched it, and it's in my act now.
Remember, we used to call that bit surfing, where somebody jumped on a bit. I had that song on my show where you go, 2 tags on every bit.
Yeah.
Oh, they're waxing up a premise and taking it on down to the beach, bit surfing. Yeah.
That happens. If comedians are together, I think the rule is the unwritten rule. Like if you start a bit, just you're talking and people kind of tag it just in conversation. I think if you tag someone, if I tag someone, they're talking and they say, oh, I might use that. I say, go ahead. You started the premise. I'll throw you whatever I can shovel on this fire and take it. Right?
Yeah. Jimmy Vallely was like the Red Adair of that. He would airdrop in on any main premise and just start tagging it like Floyd Mayweather working the speed back.
Did Red Adair help cap the oil rigs that were on fire in like Iran or something?
Well, he would do that thing that Duke Wayne did in the Hellfighters movie, where if you knock the feed of the air out for just a millisecond, the whole thing stops. So you have to get up close, dynamite it, stand behind something, and have the dynamite suck the air out for a second. And then that puts the fire out in an oddly ironic way. And you have to remember the dynamite was invented by Alfred Nobel, the Nobel Peace Prize, because his original invention had croaked so many people that he karmically worried whether he would ever get into heaven. So he made him a modicum of a donation in perpetuity to have a Peace Prize. But the only reason he did it is because he invented dynamite.
Wow. I'm speechless.
I did not know that.
Well, Carvey, you remember when we were on the road, we used to do San Jose, and you'd go to the Winchester Mystery House. Certainly you went there, right? It was this house that it was like an Escher print that had stairwells and chutes and ladders. Mm-hmm. And the reason the woman, she was of the Winchester, she married a Winchester. So many people had been killed with the guns. She was afraid that the spirits were going to come back and get her. So she built a house that was one big baffle chamber so the ghosts would run into dead ends. Because, that's how you figure out how to stay alive after you're dead, is that you can't figure a fucking hallway out. So anyway.
But do you remember the catchphrase of the local TV, which was in the San Francisco Bay Area, about the Winchester Mystery House? It was always Winchester Mystery House is 10 miles south of San Jose. Open it. And then she would say, keep building. And that would crush. Did you have local Pittsburgh bits that would only work in Pittsburgh?
Well, to some degree, but I remember most from New York, because that cat out on the island was always pushing, Carvel was always pushing Cookie Puss, and you had Crazy Eddie selling the stereo equipment.
Right.
So that's when I was first indoctrinated into local catchphrases. And I remember SNL knocked off the most famous one, which was a thing played the Beatle music on Broadway, and it was called Beatlemania. And then Jim Downey, I think, one doesn't it trace back, all roads lead to Downey comedically. He wrote that great bit called Beatlemania Mania. It's not the Beatles, but the next best thing. And then he changed it to, it's not Beatlemania, but it's the next best thing. And it looked like a copy of a copy, at a Kinko's or something, where the guys were even a little more washed out and loosely connected to the actual Beatlemania guys. So very funny.
What's your, let me try you, Spade, first. You're playing Chicago. Yeah. What's your local reference up front for a laugh?
My local reference up front is about Arizona. And then I realized quickly it doesn't travel. Like, that was the big wake-up call. I'd never done when I did SNL, I'd only been in New York once in my life. So all my jokes weren't working. And I didn't really have any clubs to go in. Once you're at SNL, you're locked in that dungeon. So I didn't do much stand-up, except for maybe on the college gigs and the weekends now and then. But man, I would do literally, I would say streets in Arizona. I would say, hey, I was on a Camelback, over with the hookers on Van Buren.
Yeah, there you go. What's going on? It's a surefire.
But that's in Arizona. And then I get out there and I go, I'm not funny. I just know my area. It's just different,
I had a go-to adaptation that's politically incorrect, but I'd take the name of the city, extrapolate it to sound like an Indian name, Fresno, from the old Indian name Fresnaka, which means drop your shorts. We don't have much time. Crushed beyond the beyond. I couldn't follow myself.
They love you.
I just say thank you and good night.
You couldn't follow your own joke?
Jimmy Stewart blowing himself next, and then I'd just leave the stage. I could not follow myself.
I remember one night Randy Quaid and I were coming out of the Comedy Store. We went past that train car up there that sells burgers. You remember that joint? You'd come out. What was it called, Spudley?
Carney's, I think.
Yeah.
Carney's, yeah.
And we're walking past Carney's, and when you were talking about Jimmy Stewart, the original guy who did that, his name was Ron Jeremy. And he was a porn star who auto-filleted himself. That's what he was known for. He comes up and he's a big fan. He's talking to Randy about The Last Detail. And Randy was so great in that. And then he's telling me some of my jokes. And, we're both like looking at him. Oh, thank you, sir. That's nice. And as soon as he takes 2 steps away from us, Randy and I simultaneously look at each other and go, that's the guy who blows himself. He wasn't even out of earshot. We couldn't wait to tell each other.
Oh, man.
I saw him at the Rainbow all the time. Literally everyone from 1990 to 98 that's doing well is at the Rainbow, obviously me included. I was like, why was I there? But I saw Bret Michaels and those guys. There's something about old people, not old people, but people that dress the way they were when they're their most famous. So they'll have the same hat or the same look or the same hair, the same exact outfit. So you go, oh, that's that guy. You know what I mean?
Was the Rainbow the joint, below? There was a private club called On the Rocks. Wasn't that?
No, that's the Roxy. Yeah,
I'm sorry, I got it wrong.
Very close though. That's all that same little run there where they're going to mow it down soon and make a Club Monaco.
Well, they better not do the whiskey because that's where the Lizard King made his name. So you've got to leave the whiskey up. It should be
whiskey.
Lizard King. Good. Sorry, who's the Lizard King?
Wait a second. What are you doing? You teasing me?
Jim Morrison?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, Jim Morrison is the Lizard King. Oh, because of the leather outfit?
I never got Jim's curriculum vitae to see exactly why he named himself that. But I think there was some story about him out on a highway and he ran into an Arapaho who crossed over and head on into a telephone pole or something and died. And he saw the guy's spirit came into him and he saw a lizard on the road, something like that.
Oh, just another day. That was the plot of Wayne's World 2, I believe.
I thought he had a big dick.
Dennis. No, we had a guy playing Jim Morrison in the desert. But okay, fun fact: Bill T. Craigie was disproportionately wrinkled for his age, and that's where the phrase "Craigie" came from. Because Craigie is a great. How's he aging? He's looking a bit craggy.
Craggy, yeah.
Craggy, you mean? Craiggie's not a word. Craggy's a word.
He's saying it with an E. It's with an A, right?
I just made that up to get things
okay. Going. Jesus. Well, come on. Have them loosely based in reality, for God's sake.
It was a long ways away.
Tourette's. Mr. Craigie. I'm thinking, what is Craigie? Is that
Craigie.
Bill T. Craigie is in fact Craigie. That's the joke. Isn't it ironic?
I'm glad we're just on audio today because my hair, I'm looking at it now. You guys both, Carvey, yours looks like a beautiful, like showering, like one of those geysers goes off and runs down the side of your head. And
I have 3
Spudley,
products.
and he looks like David Jansen, like the line.
Helen Mirren, if you blew it straight up.
Look at Spudley's hair. Beautiful.
I know.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Spudley's hair today, they combed it yesterday, but I have to start something Friday. I still don't know if I'm wearing a wig or not.
What do you mean start something Friday? You doing a film?
Oh, I don't like to talk about it. What's going on?
It's called Bus Boys with Theo Vaughn. It'll be in a theater near you. Bus Boys with Theo Vaughn.
Spade introduced me to that cat, and I find him so funny. I mean, really,
we had a fucking blast.
He is a smart guy. And remember, we sat down and we watched UFC one night, and you were with him, and I thought it was like a reincarnation of Phil's caveman lawyer thing. He looked a little rough, but then the more I listened to him during the night, I said, Jesus, this cat is hysterical, man.
Yeah, if you get into that frequency, he says the funniest shit. And I was in between, so the fight was right in front of us. So we just, and obviously if you get Dennis right next to you, just whispering jokes about every round. And we were just all telling jokes to each other. And it was the funnest night in the world.
Yeah, we did.
I sit next to Dennis a lot there.
I haven't been in a while. Are you going to go? Well, we'll talk off here. I'd like to go in and see something.
That's quality talk.
Well, Dana's the best host, isn't he? He's a good guy, and he always treats you like a king. And you'll be sitting down front, and you'll think, God, out of all the people in the world, and I see Miles Teller there a lot too. He's a good guy. And one night I saw Mel Gibson and Lady Mary from Downton Abbey. Do you remember that night?
Oh, I didn't see. I saw Mel. I've seen him there.
Yeah, well, she was doing a film with him, so they were just there.
Fun fact:
co-workers.
Dana White. I am Dana White's godfather. He was named after me. I've never revealed that before, but yeah,
Dana Craigie.
Love that guy.
Craigie.
Guy's great.
By the way, to pull it all in
Bill
in a
T.
circle,
Craigie is in fact Craigie.
Dana gave me that.
Recessive chin has a weak chin. These are all in Farmer's Almanac.
It's funny is when it's like whenever I'm with you guys, I know it's going to be such stream of consciousness that it reminds me of those times you had to do pre-interviews when you were starting out, and like the Letterman pre-interview was more in depth than you trying to become a citizen of the country, for God's sakes. You have to sit there with somebody and go over jokes phonetically, and all of a sudden you're in an office with some people. We all remember the people. I don't want to denigrate them, but some of the people that you're pitching jokes to, you're thinking, my God, if I was writing to their level, I wouldn't be on the Letterman show. You'd have to say a joke, and they'd look at you and go, not that one. What are you kidding?
Yeah. You do a 45-minute pre-interview. This is what people at home don't know. Before you do a 7-minute spot on, Letterman or something. So you're like pitching, and the guy's like, what's your Obama thing? And you do the whole thing and sweating at the end. He's like, what else? Maybe we'll push that to the end.
That's the worst.
If there's time.
Dennis, by the way, did you have a first Tonight Show doing stand-up? I don't even know that story. Or did you just skip that?
I think
you came out as a guest after SNL.
I don't think remember there was a cat who screened people for the Tonight Show, and he had like a
Jim
6.5 foot long Hobie cat that he would go out to Pasadena on the weekend and pitch himself as a yachtsman, and then you eventually see a picture of the boat that it's, your grandson's in the bathtub with it. It's so small. And that guy was omnipotent about who got on
I'm
the
recovering
Show.
from Hobie cat. I'm still recovering from just the.
Do you remember that guy, Dana?
McHale.
Oh, yeah.
McHale, right. It was so funny. You'd pitch jokes to him and you'd think, oh, my God, you're kidding me. But I never ended up doing stand-up. I'm kind of, I don't know. I almost seemed like I was a different person back then when I think back on it. As I got older, I started to hedge more bets because I feel like when you're starting out, you just get in the room and you figure, I've got to get into the center of this room, so I'll take some risks. And then later, as you go along, you're in the center of the room to some degree. I'm not saying, Tom Cruise is the center of the room, but you're at least in the room and you think, I'm going to hedge a few bets here because I don't want to end up getting kicked out. But at the beginning, you're fearless. I look back and I think, I can't believe I had those cojones. But I did panel the first time, and Johnny was like Henry Higgins, showing you off at Ascot or something. He was so good at it. It was an easy gig.
Why can't a regular piece be more like a comedian? I'm trying to do the My Fair Lady thing there, but why can't Dennis be more? But this is the first time I saw the power of our former manager, Brad Gray, with Jim McCauley, me going there, and my time was cut down or something. So Brad's just sitting in his chair in the green room, and he had that raspy kind of voice. And he just gestures with his finger to McCauley. So McCauley comes over and has to bend down to Brad. And I heard Brad go, "We're not happy. We're not happy right now." And it was the most powerful move I'd ever seen. No. He really completely leveled the guy.
You could be having lunch with Brad at the grill, and all of a sudden it turned in him and the waiter is like him and Mo Green, or Michael and Mo Green in Vegas. I don't want you to ever touch my brother. And he was banging cunt. I don't care. You do not touch my brother. It got really Brad.
Well, bigger than U.S. Steel. Yeah. Yeah.
Spudley, was he your guy too, or was it Carvey all the time?
Always Gervitz.
Always Carvey. Brad would just jump in on stuff, but it was But Carvey's been straight through since day one, and had different agents. But the Gervitz is always funny. We make fun of him on the show all the time.
Well, the great Brad story is. Geez, I don't know if I should tell this.
We can always edit. Just tell it.
Well, Carvey, you've heard this.
We can always say we'll cut it.
Where they're in Bernie's office. Sandy Wernick ends up managing Adam to ultimate success. I mean, who's had a career, and Adam. He's so great at it. But those two dovetailed perfectly, and so it's Sandy and Brad and Bernie.
Bernie Brillstein.
Bernie Brillstein, the avuncular head.
Yeah.
And Brad says, he says to the receptionist, "We don't want to be interrupted. This is important." I don't know what it was about. And then around 10 minutes in, the receptionist calls and says, "Brad," and he said, "I said I didn't want to be interrupted." He said, "It's your father." Now, Brad, at that point, you remember he and his father were estranged for a while. And, Brad looks, he goes, "Jesus, I haven't talked to him in years." And Bertie says, "Well, he's either sick or he needs money." And Sandy says, "Let's hope he's sick."
Good line, Sandy Wernick.
It's so, actually Hollywood, so brutal,
so cold.
But the good thing, Gervitz, Bernie, they loved comedy. That's why they have so many people that are comedians. They have all the SNL guys, all the great ones, all the way back to Belushi, Aykroyd. And so they still have them. And that's why it's fun to go in and talk to Bernie when I was a newer comic. And he goes, "Come in here." And he goes, "Tell me what's going on." And then he just wanted to fucking laugh. So fun. Those guys, he was funny.
He gave me confidence. Brad brought him to see me at a club, and he goes, "We're not going to give you to Saturday Night Live. You're bigger than Saturday Night Live." My previous managers thought I was a hack. And so it was, "You're bigger than them."
No,
kid.
he'd always start his compliments off with, How's about you're a fucking genius. How's about?"
He told me, "How's about you play Rooster T. Feathers again?" I go, what about Saturday Night Live? Come on, you got to stay in the bullpen a little bit.
You were there that week that I was at two bars with Destiny and Tree.
What? Wait.
Tree. Great stand-up, right?
Yeah, he was a good stand-up.
Yeah.
Remember there was a girl named
that.
Destiny, and then there was the cat Earl.
He put on some weight and he went as Tree Trunk. You remember that?
What do you mean? He evolved into Tree Trunk? Or he
put on weight and then he named himself Tree Trunk.
Is this another Craggy joke?
I need an assist. I'm talking to the best joke writer probably ever.
Yeah.
So he needs clarity.
So what's happening on the pod, boys? I see as I looked at the thing today, that it was called something else? And is it no longer focused on SNL? Is it just sort of a free-forming?
That's been a problem from the get-go, that the confusion over that. We started a second podcast that's just us talking about videos and goofing around on YouTube, on video. That's called Superfly. Totally separate from Fly on the Wall. And a lot of people don't.
A lot of moving parts there, boys.
We took a confusion course at the Learning Annex. This is what we came up with.
And the two podcasts harbored themselves. They diseased themselves. They sort of cancel each other.
Don't start a Dr. Laura's thing where you called The Fly Is Down, where you talk to depressed people, because you're going to dilute the brand even further. You're going to.
Oh, no, we're up for the best podcast award. We're up for the best podcast award again.
Well, yeah, we are for best podcast on iHeart.
Beautiful, guys.
Not exactly the Nobel Peace Prize.
Why don't you send Sasheen Littlefeather from down
is that who Brando sent?
Yeah.
Is she still picking up awards for people?
You might look her up somewhere. Maybe she can go in. It would be good publicity if you guys sent Sasheen in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they have a literal award show. I think it's an online poll of 9 people, but
we're over 200 podcasts. We just found out we've done over 200 between the two.
Beautiful, boys. Mm-hmm. And Carvey, where are you at there? Are you up this way?
Yep.
Beautiful.
On a farm.
I know.
In the Central Valley.
Well, you look like it agrees with you. You look healthy as hell, but you've always had the best health regimen. There's great hikes up that way. Are you going up in the mountains at all?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Keeping that VO2 max going.
Send me another picture of your quads.
I remember Carvey I think I went to the workout with him once when we were on Saturday Night Live, and he set the Stairmaster machine on the highest setting, and he was talking to me throughout. He did an hour on it. I'm over there doing some girls' push-ups, and he talked the whole hour. He wasn't even gassed. And, at the end, like Sherpas were tapping out next to him. You were in the best fit anaerobic guy I've ever seen. And then you had the pump blew out or something.
That pump blew out in your heart?
That was later on. It didn't blow out. I had hypocalcemia. But I was like a sports car with a fuel injection problem. But the engine was great.
Engine was perfect. Listen. Still a pink title.
Sorry, Dennis. It's still not. Some things never change.
No, I watched Ford and Ferrari, and Carroll Shelby originally wanted to power his car with your heart. That's how strong the heart
was. Dude, I went in there to get the whole thing. Shape. Did you ever? They did a whole thing. I mean, they go in just for laughs, get the whole scan. And so I got a whole scan, and I think I did good. I think I sent it to Dana because I didn't understand it.
Oh, both of you
all these years,
got 0.
All these years when you've sort of floated on the periphery of social scenes, and I know you like a nice social scene, but you're always working the, what did they call it on old paintings? They called there be whales at the corner of the painting. It would point outside. Every time I've ever been at a social setting or a banquet with you, you're always floating around the outside, and then you split because your neck hurts. And I always wondered, was that just a defense mechanism to get out of a scene, or did your neck actually hurt?
It's neck hurts combined with some boredom, but usually but everything, I feel like the people are less boring. But if you're at one of these, I was at a Netflix party the other night, and you go around, I see people, it's fun, and I see famous people you don't see for a while, so we have a few laughs. But when you're walking around with now you got a plate full of crab cakes, and now it's the 4th time you're running into Miles Teller. You just go, I think I'm going to get out of here, because it turns into a head nod, and then you ignore them on the 5th one, and then you just go, I think I've done my job here tonight. But I last about an hour. I was really down to about an hour now with these. Even if it's a great party, I'm like, I don't know. I can't just fucking rot.
Well, I have to tell you one day that where Spade stayed longer, and this will talk about what a mensch Spade is. He's always sort of ethereal. He pisses on stuff, but he's the guy who's sending the bread to buy the bulletproof vest for the cops in Phoenix and that. And my son is graduating, and it's when Tommy Boy is out. It's the biggest thing in the world. And I asked Spade, I thought if he came to this grad party they had. Now imagine this: we pitched a grad party, and we're going to show Tommy Boy on a screen at this party, and it's all soft drinks and that. It's not like we're at Pauly Shore's house there up above, but it's just a really sweet party. We're going to watch the film, and we deliberately have the projector break or it won't function. And then I said, the kids are all like bummed out, but kind of, they've all seen the film 10 times themselves. And I go, what are we going to do to fill time? Well, one of the stars is there, and Spudley walked out from behind the screen. It was the biggest hue and cry. People went crazy, these kids. And then Spudley stayed for a couple hours. He couldn't have been nicer. He didn't turn into a stiff, where it was all, you youngsters, you're going to, he was just cool, Spade, but framed properly, and they all felt like they met the real guy, and they still talk. Obviously my son still once in a while say, remember when Spade came? And I always think, what a cool move, Davey.
Yeah, thank you. Spudley fucking wrote it out. That's a fun time though. That scenario is perfect because you're not overwhelmed. It's not too much. Some things are too much.
And are you still with that girl you left?
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what's going on?
Alert.
Dennis, you're cutting out. Hey, topic. Dennis was our guest. I like the story he ended with about the Tommy Boy stuff.
This ain't no horse's cock. Sorry. I'm going right back to the last detail. I want to do that for the last 40 minutes.
Guess who was brought up for Busboys? Randy Quaid. Is that crazy?
Get him in there.
We were brought up. We were talking about casting, and we were talking about. I think it was for Theo's dad, and Theo said, "What about Randy Quaid?" And we're all like, "Oh my god, we could dust off Randy Quaid."
Oh, he's the nicest guy, and you remember some of his work in Midnight Express, and I mean, he's a great actor. Jeez,
really, most people know him from Vacation, but he's done all this other stuff. But he can just ride on Vacation forever because he was so good in that. But
I don't even know what Busboys is. Tell me, what is Busboys?
Oh, just a movie me and Theo wrote, and it's about two losers that want to be waiters. They're busboys that try to be waiters. They can't work. They think if they're waiters, it'll straighten out their lives. But because my girlfriend ran off with a waiter, so we're like, fuck, dude, waiters got it made, dude. That's if we just get that, it all come together for us. So I don't want to give it all away, Dennis. No, come on.
That's pretty good, but you're busboys, and then shenanigans.
Yeah,
obviously happen.
Dennis was there in the first round of fucking Joe Dirt, and then I remember we were doing it, and remember we didn't have a ton of time, so
that's right.
I mean, I had my mini sides on my legs in the radio station. Freddie Wolf behind me, playing the guy.
Oh, I remember that.
Tech guy, and then the Zoo Crew guy, and then Dennis was the one. Of course, we try to write jokes for Dennis, and then they're somewhat in the vicinity, and then he just keeps adding laughs. And so it made it that every time we cut back to the radio station, it's funnier because Dennis is doing all this great stuff. Jane Fonda from Clute, that was not in the script, I guarantee you. And then I had my sides, my legs had so many lines, it was too hard. I'd look down, then I'd say them, then I'd look down, and I'd say them. But we got through it.
Spudley, out of all the things I've done, I can't tell you how many people still come up to me. And I always wondered, why was that? I know you did a 2, but it seemed like it would have been ripe for a 2 even quicker than that, right? It's such a, it was so many people's favorite movie.
Yeah, we might do an animated version, which would be easier because then I won't have to look like the old Joe Dirt. So
there was a sequel a few years ago, right?
Yeah. But I'm saying that one had to go to Crackle. Some offense to Crackle. I was going to say no offense.
Sony bought Crackle.
Yeah, Sony bought Crackle, and they go, we're going to make this Netflix, which wasn't a bad idea. So they said, the only way we'll let you do another Joe Dirt is if you go do it on Crackle. Now, we didn't know there'd be commercials in it and not a paywall, but you'd have to sign up for Crackle. So all these people that want to watch it have to fill out a form and make it harder. And they said, if we can get 1 million downloads out of this, we'll be successful. And that'll help build our library and get the word out. Because, I could do press at NASCAR and I could go and talk to. So we do it. They give us a shitty budget. We do it. they cut the budget during the shoot, which was
Bad sign.
not great. And then we do it. I still like it. I go out there and try to. I didn't get paid a lot. We go do it. They get 1 million downloads within 2 days.
Wow.
And then in a week, they got 2 million. And then they got 3 million. And then around 3.5, I just stopped asking. And then because there was just,
that's why I don't understand with all the stuff.
They bailed on Crackle and then it folded. So Crackle's still out there, but they decided they don't want to put money into it to make it into Netflix. So I don't know what its purpose is anymore. But we had a good jump start.
Very obscure.
Well, Spade, that's why I'm saying with all the adherence to the intellectual property, everything needs some sort of past iteration before people will bet money on it. Joe Dirt #1 was such a proof of concept. I'm surprised somebody didn't, to think that somebody says, "We'll let you do a Joe Dirt 2 if you'll do it on Crackle." For God's sakes, why not just do it on Citizen Band Radio? They should have come in and said, "Let's do a sequel and push chips in like Mike did with Wayne's World 2." I bet you it would have went that high.
Yeah, I don't know. That was the tough part. We couldn't get it going, and so that was our thing was to put it there on the witness protection program. And it's shocking it did well over there, and they got all these people signed up to fucking dog shit Crackle, but. Then they pulled the money to make it big, like a Netflix, and so the head of Crackle left. And
well, let's face facts. Like, wow. Once you do the mosey through show business, Spudley, you're still in the middle of it. Dana and I a little further down the line. You're surprised you get anything off the ground. Honest to God, the great mystery to me, and I don't know, maybe Carv had something to do with it, but the biggest thing in America was Church Lady. I see some of the things they make movies of from Saturday Night Live. I'm telling you, Carv, you remember when Church Lady was at its peak? It was just, isn't that special? It was everywhere. And that movie, theatrically, this is way before COVID, all that stuff, but I always thought that would come off. What's the backstory on that, or do you choose not to share it?
Well, SNL Studios, Lorne Michaels didn't get an official studio. SNL Studios started after I left somewhere, and that's where they did Stuart Smalley movie, It's Pat movie. I had an idea once that she's at a Bible retreat in Santa Barbara, and then she's driving her car in a rainstorm, and it breaks down in Malibu, and then she goes and knocks on the door, and it's a Malibu beach party full of celebrities and Sodom and Gomorrah. Well,
Young Frankenstein.
We're not wearing any pants, are we? So it just goes around. I'm the age that Church Lady is. If anyone's listening, we can do that for $3.5 million and just give me some back end.
I told you should have did Church Biden on one of those SNLs you did, where you just did a complete mashup of your Biden and your in the Church Lady.
I know that was your idea. Church Biden. Well,
excellent.
Well, isn't that special? Oh, no more special than me. I'm not kidding.
You would have figured it out. No doubt.
No, he gets in as one of his things, and he comes to the podium with a wig on, and he thinks he's.
Well, look, I mean, I don't know if this is rumor, but I hear that with what they're planning with Biden's retirement is to build a replica of the Oval Office in the House and bring him in there every day. And then once in a while, the fear is that, Hunter might pretend to be a foreign person, Who we have next? We have the ambassador to Spain here. Yeah. Spain. Hey, hola. My name's Sebastian. I'm from Spain. Yeah, what can I do for the country of Spain? I've always loved Spain. We could use like $100 billion. All right, let's do it. Get him a check. Hasta luego. Hasta la vista. Whatever, Dad. I mean, me. Goodbye. So that's probably going to
like Rupert Pupkin, De Niro, and King of Comedy. He's doing the talk show down in the basement in front of the placards.
But I went to 10 Saturday Night Live parties and stayed there till 5 a.m. every night.
Can you believe this, Dennis? This motherfucker went
after the show. But Carv, they must have been all coming up to kiss the ring, right? I mean, geez, you have emeritus status there now.
Once you're around long enough, you do get a lot more positive feedback.
I remember when you and I would go to those SNL parties after. And we were in such an unwind thing. And neither one of us were serious partiers, but that's such a pressure cooker that you would probably throw 5 or 6 beers and I'd have a couple of vodkas on the rocks. And then we'd share a car to the Upper West Side because we lived across the street from each other. And neither one of us are great drinkers. I mean, you could handle your beer, but I have never laughed as hard in my life as when we would go up the West Side Highway and just howl from some of those parties that were way downtown.
Well, we get so silly, like, you and I flying together and sort of flaunting our neurosis in a funny way. But Dennis was the seat behind me and I'm in the seat ahead, and we're just flying across the country. And Dennis over and over again would lean in and say, Carvey, if you see anything out of the ordinary, anything, I want to be the first to know. And if he said that one time, he said it like 40, 50, every single time.
We were so frightened flying. Carvey and I were, but I eventually grew to be a good flyer. I had a good insight from Penn Gillette once of Penn and Teller. We were on a flight and it was getting bouncy. And he was reading the newspaper. He didn't even look over at me. I was getting pissed off. It's one of those things where you get pissed off at somebody who's not afraid of flying when it's really bumpy. Yeah. And I look over and I go, "You're fucking kidding me. This doesn't scare you." He goes, "What?" I go, "This." And he finally looks up and now he's cognizant that we're in really bad turbulence. And he looked at me, he said, "Oh, shut up. Alexander the Great would have given everything he ever done for 2.5 minutes up here," which in some weird way gave me clarity about the pragmatic nature of flying. And but when Carvey and I were on the road together, we were both so flipped out that we'd get blasted. You remember that night we were over the Rocky Mountains in that electrical store, and we both called Bernie Brostein, our manager, home and told him we were leaving the company. We were
because you had to
put us in have us out here on the road. You're on fucking Malibu on our Architectural Digest, you son of a bitch.
Yeah. Dennis used to say, "We got a little light chop and a little dirty air." That's how they tone it down. You're like, "I'm bouncing off the ceiling." We got a little light chop.
Yeah, I just want to say 2 words about this chop: structural integrity.
They always go, the wings of the plane can touch at the top. I'm like, I don't know if we need to get that far and test this out.
Carv, did you get better at it? I haven't flown with you in a while. Are you any better at it?
I've gotten better at it. Yeah, I think so. I think you just get worn down by it. But I still do get thirsty on an airplane, even with the little bit of packed in there, claustrophobia. I'm just bouncing around. It's 3rd hour in and I'm kind of bored. And then it's like someone comes up very nicely and says, "Would you like something to drink?" And I go, "Okay."
You're not trying to pretend with me you're still on commercial air, are you? Because, come on. Are you kidding me?
Well, the gross in the net gets disturbed when you do a gig. And
it gets very disturbed.
It gets altered.
Yeah.
They were cheaper. Now
when it's a push, it's bad.
Yeah.
You remember when Spudley, that was one of the best days of my life. We had a gig in a place called Thackerville, Oklahoma something.
Oklahoma.
And we wanted to get in and out. And Norm was with us. The 3 of us were the headliners. And we rented a plane and we flew from Van Nuys or Burbank, I think, to Thackerville. There was, you didn't even have to land in Dallas and do the drive north because there was a strip somewhere up near Thackerville, which was a nice gig. I don't want to disparage it.
It's like a city, Thackerville. No, that's the biggest casino in the world.
Casino, you're right. And we knocked the gig out, and then we split right after. So between all of the stuff, we were there, together for like 10 or 12 hours that day. I have never laughed so hard. Norm was
for sure. That was
killing me.
That was my last Norm hangout. I mean, I think because it was before COVID. One funny thing Dennis did is he goes, "Hey, Spud," well, I think we each had to do 30. And he's like, "You want to, I think I might want to go first and run back to the room and take care of some stuff." And I'm like, "Oh, then, okay." And then Norm goes, "Then I should go on after that." And I go, "Yeah, go ahead, you fucking assholes. I have to follow these 2 great comedians. So fine."
Now, did you know, Spudley, that Norm was, I did not know Norm was that.
I did not.
At that time. He was pretty.
No, and
I never knew.
Kind of mad about it because we kept setting up a dinner, and then he kept going. I go, "So what? So it's 6:00. So you're heading over?" And he's like, What? It's COVID. I go, Norm, we've gone over this. It's 9 months into COVID. You drive to my house. We sit 10 feet apart at my table. What? I go, we keep this, you agree to it, and then you
Was
cancel.
he actually hard of hearing, or was that just a stall tactic?
I didn't like it when he would text what? I go, Norm, you can't text what? You hear me on text.
Isn't it ironic that Norm's true genius? And I don't know, from the first time I met him, I told you that first joke. I heard there was a new kid in LA from Canada, Eddie Feldman. My writer said, there's a guy here. It's great. I saw him. His name's Norm Macdonald. And I said, well, where did you see him? He said, I saw him at the Improv. And he did that great joke where he said, I feel sorry for the homeless guy, but I really feel sorry for the homeless guy's dog, because the dog's thinking, this is the longest fucking walk I've ever been on. Do we eventually go in somewhere? Because I could do this on my own. And I heard that joke. I said, that is so funny. So I get on the horn with Norm and I say, hey, I know you're just here. And I'm just saying, if you want a stopgap writing job, I've got this talk show. And I said, I'd hire you right now, but just the protocols dictate you send in some sort of a batch of jokes or something. And Norm said, I don't do batches, but I'll send in one joke and you guys can make a determination. He was already hired, but I was trying not to usurp the head writer and producers, their office, and I didn't want to overstep. So I go, okay, send a joke. And the joke is he reads the AP Wire story of Jeffrey Dahmer's trial, and it's so grotesque and detailed, the actual transcript about disembowelment and eating pancreas. And he reads the whole thing, and then he says, at the end, Dahmer defended himself by saying he started it. It's like the greatest joke ever. So we hired him. And I always thought he was a genius from that point on, but he always sort of was on the fringe. And now it's so unfortunate. It's like, to me, he's like Van Gogh. When you hear about Van Gogh during his lifetime, having to, take handouts from Theo, and that Norm was not taking handouts. But I'm just saying, every day I look now on the reels that I get, it's Norm.
Right,
and you're reminded of another great joke.
Yeah, 100%. Because I get these Norm Macdonald pages and people send them to me, and I'm like, I don't remember this joke. Like, there's a couple there I never saw.
I don't know if you guys had this experience, but I had a long drive, and some reason I ended up talking with Norm, and for an hour and a half, we talked about our career issues, and he was just completely not one joke and just sort of talking about this sitcom didn't go, and they didn't know what to do with me, and it was very interesting to be around him. The only other time I heard him like that was when his attaché, assistant, best friend, Lori Jo, had some heart issues, and they were consulting with me. She's fine, for people who are listening, but
Lojo.
And I could tell that Norm was really worried, and so he had that other side, of course. But as far as obtuse one-liners, I would praise him as high as putting him on Dennis's footing. I would put those two guys.
Come on.
No, I'm being totally real. I mean, look, this is an example of a thing that I always quote about you, and it just kills me. I don't know why, but you were up there, you're opening for me, or I'm opening for you, and you go, Jimmy cracked corn, and I don't care. What the kind of hell attitude is that? I mean, like, who does that? Who would do a joke like that?
I had to go out with this guy, and I did either black or white special. I think Schneider did open for one, and I opened for one. And you have to go up before Dennis's crowd, but they're nice. And then Dennis does a killer hour. So great, each joke, and you double your cards out. Yeah,
I appreciate
great.
When I actually saw recently, sometime in the last year, I mean by recently, our young comedian special, Spudley. That was quite a murderer's row of comedians when I look back on it. Freddie Stoller was good. Jan was good. I think you're friends with Jan Karam, right? Or her?
Yeah.
She was in it. Drake, that cat Warren Thomas, who's no longer with us, but was a killer. Right. And you and Schneider. I mean, when you look back, man, we hit the ball that night.
Oh, fuck yeah. Dennis is hosting it. Brad Gervitz produced it. And what a great one. That got me at least in the vicinity of SNL. And then you helped on that one too. I remember writing fucking update jokes for Dennis. It's so hard. God dang. It's so hard to write a bunch of jokes. It's just update jokes are a different world too. People get there as comics and think you're going to write a sketch very easily. It's such a different muscle. It's so hard to figure out that formula.
You know, I see reels of the current guys who do it, and I don't. I'll be honest, I don't watch the show, and there's no grievance there. It's not my. I'm not up at 11:30 on Saturday,
yeah, sure.
But I do see these clips of them together, and when they do that back and forth thing where they write jokes for each other, they kill, man. It is so funny, and I don't remember seeing reels of them years ago, so I don't know if they've grown into it or not, but. I think his name's Yost and Che are very funny together.
Colin and Michael. Yeah, they started doing that maybe just a couple, 3 years ago, I think. But they've evolved with this chemistry to become one of the all-time duos up there. And when I was there, the last show, Michael wrote some jokes, cold jokes for Colin to read live on air. And they were extremely inappropriate, racist. Yeah. And there were a lot of stuff about his wife, Scarlett Johansson, and they would cut to her in the hallway looking at it on a monitor. And that crushed because Colin lost it for real on live TV, laughing so hard, barely getting through it. That crushed as hard as anything I'd seen in that studio in a long time.
Well, I always wanted to talk to somebody who's inside there, Carv, because I've heard that too. And sometimes these stories are almost apocryphal about things. Because I remember, let's face facts, when you go out with Robin, everybody'd say he's just making it up as he went along. And he often made things up, but he also had a core he worked off. Nobody's going out there with absolutely nothing. So you hear these tales and you wonder, are they actually seeing each other's jokes, you believe, for the first time?
They are when they do that. Yeah.
Wow,
when they do that,
cool.
they do.
But they don't do them
because
in dress,
they're not that
same
no
joke?
one's that great an actor. I mean, they're really shocked by
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, you remember the first time I heard that was Mulaney, who I think is a genius, used to write jokes for that character that it was a guy who went
Bill
to
Hader
clubs.
did.
Yeah, Hader.
With the hands over his mouth.
Yeah.
Stefan or something.
And the single funniest joke that I think I've ever heard on Weekend Update is Hader would always, the template was, this place has everything. And then he did the quintessential New Yorker joke, and only people who lived in New York and co-ops or condominiums will know what this means. He said, this place has everything. Doormen who high-five children of divorce. And you remember the doorman in your building was always like, part of the family after a couple of years, and everything in your building was known by everybody else. And if there was a disturbance in the force, the guy would go out of his way to make the youngins feel good. But children,
Mulaney is an incredible joke writer. Being on that show again. A lot of magic stuff happens at the dress show. Anecdotally, it seemed to me the dress show just had more energy and just, so the fact that Colin they don't do those jokes at the dress show. They're just doing them live on the live show. But there's something about, like, I would go Dubai and I come out of the dress show when I first started landing it, and people were like clapping and wow, way to go. And then I would do the air show, try to do equivalent, and then you come out of 8H and everyone's just like, So there is something I just want. I mean, the show works the way it works. It's 50 years, should never change it. But I wondered if Carol Burnett, if they essentially shot the dress show, and that allowed for a lot more spontaneity, because it's the first time you're coming on.
First take is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they did. I think they did shoot both of them, but I think they leaned heavily towards the one on air. But if you're going to run a dress, why not shoot it, right? I mean,
well, they shoot it, and the air sometimes goes higher. But it just, when it got cold out there, the audience, it's a tractor pull to get into that studio, waiting and late, and one
of my early ones was Michael J. Fox impression, and he came on the child actors. We were going to rob a bank together or something. And that was, I think, a Smigel bit, super hilarious. And so I was playing Michael J. Fox. He was playing Danny Bonaducci. And when I was doing a speech right to him, he started cracking up in dress. And it was a fucking monster. And then on air, he didn't laugh because he'd heard it. And I'm like, where was this? Please, God.
It just
air
hard.
the fucking dress version.
There was a bit where someone was spraying water at Colin for the dress show, and it was the first time, and then it just had this magic to it. And then the air show was fine, perfectly great, but there is something about the first time you can't top
half
it.
That's why the crew knows it's coming. Half the I mean, the cast sees it once, so it's not 100%.
But it's a thing that don't peek at dress. It's a thing. Do not peek at dress.
Carv, was the schedule still the same? And what part did they ask you to participate in? Did you still have that Monday thing where everybody sat around Lauren's office?
Because I came in just to do Biden contractually. I was I was placed with Maya Rudolph and Gaffigan and Andy Samberg. And so the first show, they asked Gaffigan and I to come into the read-through, which is now an 8H. And it's like a giant, there's pianos.
Oh, you're kidding me.
It's a huge
did you know this,
room.
Dennis? I didn't know this.
You've got place cards and tablecloths and snacks, and there's a
Butlers.
piano, and they do symphony orchestra. They bring in classical music, and so
they have those massage chairs like at the airport where you sit and kneel on them.
What? We were doing a circle jerk in a broom closet on 17.
It's harder to kill there. A lot of the writers kind of miss that. Up on 17, the tightness of the room, it dissipates
Picking
a
over
bit.
Huxley's leftovers.
Yeah.
17, that meeting room on 17 really was Thunderdome, wasn't it, man? You
fucking sweatbox.
You often saw killer shots there, but there was a couple times where people overreached. I don't even want to name names because I'm old and conciliatory now, but a couple times you can remember people really going for something and it's just hanging there. And, Lauren would say, all right, moving on.
The BO was breaking records. It was everyone was so nervous. It was sickening. And then someone would get up, or Lauren would crack the window a quarter inch and be freezing within 2 seconds. Everyone's like, it's like.
The worst is when they do show and tell, like you put on a little hat or you have a little instrument or something or a vest sweater and you're going to stand up and act it out. And then it's dead silence. And, moving on.
I'm a Yankee Doodle dandy. Everyone's like, boo.
Sad little sailor.
When you look back, man, think about how lucky it was. I mean, geez, I look back and I was never a cool kid. And I think Spudley and you seem the little, I don't know of your youth as much, but I think we were all a little bit nerdly, and all of a sudden you're in the crosshairs of it, man. And when I look back, I just always think, wow, how lucky that was to be in that room with all its sort of Damocles hanging over your head. And if you fucked up 3 weeks in a row, you were probably gone. But I look back and it was the juice, wasn't it, man? Or the spice, as they say in Doom. You really got the spice in that room.
I feel for the young cast and a lot of the people, there's 18 or 20, I don't know how many cast members. And I was talking to one of them once and he goes, look, it's hard to be relaxed out there because if you go out there and you don't quite land it, then you're not going to be written for it. You're not going to be in the show for a few weeks. So it's hard to get loose. And when we came in, Dennis, we had such a small cast that everybody got their reps in. Look, if I had not got on that show, I think I'm playing yucks in Merced tonight, So that was my ticket. I was 31 when I got on there. I'd had my 10 years in the clubs and I bombed every pilot they put me in and the Burton Kirk film, and it was a disaster.
Damaged goods.
To your point, the luck of getting on there, and then of course you were like made out of a factory to be the update guy because you could land jokes, and you're such a reader. I mean, it really matters to be able to read really well is a big advantage. See a card,
nail it.
Yeah, Larry King said to me one night, I had him on my HBO show, and he said, God, you know how to read a prompter. And I some people would take that as you're a prompter chimp joke, I looked at him and said, Larry, that's the nicest thing anybody could say about me.
That is nice. It's hard to do.
But it was
It'll make you or
different.
break
Let me
you.
ask you a question. This is technical for the people listening still. Like cue cards versus prompter. What would you
I dug
prefer?
the cue cards.
Me too. Because
it kept you, listen, that can go awry. There is something you were talking about first show, second show. I don't want to sound too like, we don't sit there and do Oppenheimer things on blackboards about how the show goes. But half of the thing is the frisson of it, fear, like the surface tension when you overpour a glass, that tremble. That's where the whole money shot is on that show. And I always thought the cards, sometimes they wouldn't come out at the same pace, and you felt less robotic about it. It could go awry. Plus, my card girl was Tom Laughlin's daughter, Billy Jack's daughter, which I always dug that because I love Billy Jack so much. So whenever I was in trouble with the crowd, I'd think of saying, when I see what you've done to this little audience, I just go pivot kick berserk, like in the ice cream parlor. But the fact that it could go wrong a little, I always dug that feeling, because then when you conquered it, and it didn't always go right, there were times, and boy, you were hangdog the next day if you screwed the pooch, as they say at NASA. But for the most part, you're not going to screw the pooch there, because you do it with some degree of alacrity. And I used to like that, man, that feeling. Carvey, you remember when you'd come up and do something at the desk and we would just be howling at how maxed out it was. And Spudley used to kill with the the guy
Hollywood Minute.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Well, we know the power of home base and right to camera, because when I was doing Church Lady and David was out doing Hunter Biden, and it was getting used to that idea of don't look at the cards. There's the wide shot. There's the money shot. Also, kind of glance over at your guest, but don't go too profile. It's just getting used to all that. But money, when I was doing Biden, normally it was just straight ahead. It's much easier. Gives me chills thinking about it.
When you're on that show and you're in a good sketch and you do your lines and you kind of miss them, you lay down a broken bat single and you walk back off camera and everyone kind of darts their eyes. You're like, fuck, I had 2 lines to get it right. I just kind of missed it. Or you fluff it and you're like, if I just had one more take, it would be better. But you do that too many, like you said, in a row.
It's so under-rehearsed. And the director, Liz, who's a lovely person, I really got myself in her shoes of like, you're doing Hunter, I'm doing my thing. How long do you hold right after the laugh? Or do you cut after the line? And then, of course, bumbling a line is so painful. Or not getting a laugh and realizing later the camera wasn't on you.
Yeah.
The cutting, because she doesn't have that much time. Or we had Davey Wilson. It's such a fly-by-night thing. So, but when it works, it's magic. Put it that way. For sure.
Well, Carver, you had a nice return there, man. You hit the ball really hard. Every day I'd go, I'm golfing a lot now. And the guys at my golf course would always say, Carvey killed it over the weekend. So nice to know you were still putting good wood on the ball, brother. How'd your chops feel? Did it come back to you right away, or it never went?
Well, I'd done some Biden, just slowly but surely. I was gathering a Biden up, because I noticed no one was really doing him, and so when I went there and read through, I was just coalescing in my head, but Lauren was sitting next to me and no one had really kind of figured out Biden, how to make it funny or sensitive or whatever. So I had this thing of, and guess what? And by the way, just that. And then I saw Lauren's shoulders go up like that and he was happy. So I knew I had a hook, and I think that I was discovering it with the audience live in real time. But yeah, it came back to me for sure. It felt like I was home again, doing rhythms, and I'd had a warm up with him on this podcast, and I had some clips out with him with the Biden I was doing. So I had a lot of hooks.
Good honing, because you got to make mistakes here.
Boy, when they're cutting back and forth between the shots here, Spade looks like he's in some swing, private booth somewhere in a VIP booth, and then you got to trick that place out a little. That room you're in. You got that table over here. It looks like the Pixar opening credits with that lamp or something. You got to get some flowers in there or something.
Get some flowers.
Wait,
Dennis,
look at this over on the left. It's like the Honeymooners. It's like Crabden's place with the Pixar light on top of it. Spudley, what's your book over your shoulder? What are you selling there? What's that?
Oh, that was a John Lennon book because I bought the glasses, John Lennon's glasses, and that's
Collects
the glasses
Beatles
wearing
stuff.
on that book. And this Dana White gave me this. Your boy gave me that Bruce Lee skateboard. Dennis, you can react whenever you're ready.
I just thought that we would give him an edit point there in case we're wrapped up because I got a split soon.
Oh yeah, let's go. Yeah, that's it. Dennis,
been hilarious.
we love you, and you're one of the. I don't know if you should retire. You're still better than 99 to 100% of the comics out there.
I'm liking being retired, man. You know what? I just I just want to explore what it's like not doing it. I did it so long that I thought I don't even know what I'm like as when did I start it? Writing jokes and staying in that guise that maybe at 30, 71 now. And I just thought, man, why don't I analyze? Hopefully I get another 10 or 20. I'm going to just try to see what it's like being, what am I like without all the trappings of that?
Well, did you find this? Because I feel like if I go before I ever did stand up, then I start to do it just as a nobody in San Francisco, just this little bit of tension or weight, it would come and go, but it was just there. I should be writing more material. I should be doing that at a club. And then SNL, I should do that. And that movie bombed. I got to do this. And so there's still like this sort of weightiness when you're connected to it and the excitement of that and making money and all that. But I just wonder when you psychologically take that away, does your relaxation quotient go way up?
Well, I've been
Dennis?
reading, and I saw Seinfeld was reading this too, which is intriguing to me because I've been reading a lot of the Stoics, Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, and
Jerry talked a lot about that.
Yeah, he's into that, and I'm just trying to see what's on the other side of that apprehension about not doing it. I think there's something important there. I don't want to sound too ethereal, and maybe I'll find out that I just missed doing it. Maybe you'll see me, back in a walker doing jokes or something. But right now, I'm thinking, okay, I always diffused that sort of anxiety or fear of the unknown by telling a joke or getting up on stage or smiling and glad handing. And I thought, what's beyond that? So I'm just trying to sit in it for a moment. And I'm finding on the other side of it, I'm kind of enjoying that lack of apprehension. Because let's face facts, I don't care how much you feel safe going out on stage, and you do get safer over the years. I'd still getting there, going across country and getting there and going to the place and right before you go on. It can go wrong at any moment. I mean, the moment you start thinking this can't go wrong, it's like Robin's old bit that he did in his first special about Step Inside the Comedian's Mind, where you hear that submarine klaxon go off.
Mayday. Dive.
Yeah. So I don't miss that part of it. But when a joke pops into my head, I often think, well, listen, I'll call Carvey with Church Biden, but then that gets smacked back in your face like the Kembe
I just want
Mutombo.
one quick question. Just how does Stoicism relate to what you just said? Just letting go or being in the moment or not making problems that don't exist is kind of part of it, right?
Well, I'm trying to find out. I used to control things with my showbiz career in a way, because you can manage that. You're really managing an efficient organization to some degree when you're in the middle of it. And then I realized that you're not managing anything. And if I don't know when this airs, but if the Palisades doesn't remind you that,
yeah.
I was just trying to get my head around the fact that really you have to balance not controlling anything except your thought processes and still leading a happy, non-morbid life. You don't have to be forlorn about it. I'm just trying to find that delicate, where the Venn diagram taps, where you realize that you don't have any control over it. And in an odd way, that should free you up to not worry about it as much. So,
good or bad, things can happen.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, I love you both, and I love you with all my heart.
It's been a blast hanging out with you. And then we also recorded it, and we'll get paid. So
check in now and then and give us some new stuff if you got jokes to burn.
Well, listen, you got to get rid of. I've been staring at Bruce Lee's nipple for an hour here now, and,
nice.
it appears he only has one in that photo. And who else had one nipple in famous lore, Carvey? I'll quiz you there.
Lonnie Anderson,
Paul Harvey. Which one?
No, Scaramanga, the man with the golden gun, played by the great Christian.
That guy.
Oh, no, he had a third nipple. Yes, he got Bruce Lee's other one. I just remember there was some sort of areola discrepancy with Scaramanga.
Areola discrepancy.
All right, Dennis, love you, bud.
Right, love you, buddy.
This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all the stuff. Smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman. Okay, so we've got Joel McHale. Joel McHale, a nice chat with Joel.
Joel McHale. I did a pilot once a little while back, and Joel McHale was in it with Ken Jeong, who are really good friends, like best friends. Oh, yeah. I just think for best friends forever.
I know Ken Jeong, sure.
We all know Joel. We all know Ken. Joel's a great stand-up. We see him at the Comedy Store.
We talk about Community, this show Community he did forever. He did we talk, of course, ask about Chevy Chase because that ties into us a little bit. And yeah, good stories. Guys got good stories. And he also likes international scouts. Do you know that, Dana? Because where I get my Land Cruiser done,
right?
He buys up a lot of scouts, and they're all old ones and very cool ones.
And he was one of the first. He did a show where you make fun of videos.
Oh, Talk Soup.
And Talk Soup.
Yeah, it's great.
And what's kind of interesting, without giving it away, I'll talk about he had a little bit of dyslexia, and he was reading teleprompters and the struggle and the challenge of that. Right. But that show is huge and went on for years. And he now has a new show,
Animal Control. And it's I think it's just started its third season, and it's I just read a really nice thing about it in the paper. So Animal Control, you know him for sure when you see him. And we had a nice chat. So let's listen up. Enough about us.
Pretty exciting. That beard is rocking,
Look
man.
at his fucking cool hair, too. I hate this guy already.
Look at all the transplants, guys. This can be yours, literally.
No, it cannot. That's too good.
You got to have some donors if you're going to go.
God
no, that is fucking Trini Lopez, early Tom Jones.
Who are your hair donors? Charo?
When the Russian Olympic doping thing hit, I was able to reap the benefits because they had all this extra tranquilizer sitting around, guys. But Parso Bohibi, he's in Sherman Oaks. He's a wizard. This is my great grandfather. That's would have been me.
He's showing a picture of a goddamn
cue really?
Ball.
A cue ball.
Might as well be George Costanza.
And you're like, well, who has the greatest hair in Hollywood? I think it was, what did Rob Lowe say?
Now.
Rob Lowe said Richard Gere, I think, in the history of Hollywood.
Joel McHale.
I think it's Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
I mean, if
Keanu's
Bridges. Yeah.
Can I make my face redder?
That's just the Tito's wearing off.
Everyone says on the YouTube comments, "Hey, Spade, rough night." I'm like, no, this is just it, guys. They're like, geez, what a disaster.
Well, it's Northern European. You get a little rosacea as you get
I don't
older.
think I'm red, Heather. Am I in real life? My fucking dad was kind of red, but he was such a goddamn drunk.
Yeah, but you're still at this age. Like if we all went back to our high school reunions, just an impromptu high school reunion, we'd all be like, "Oh, we're doing great."
Yeah, you're right. Me and my buddies from high school don't look so fucking tragic. So we see. By the way, when I was and back in Arizona, Sir Joel and these two old dudes walked up to us. And I'm like, oh, look at these broken down motherfuckers. And they go, hey, we were a year under you guys in high school at Saguaro. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Wait, we're all around the same? Oh, my God.
Well, they also were sitting in the Arizona sun, right? They were
Everyone lays out every day. Yeah. No sunscreen. That's for girly men.
I talked to a guy at an event in the recent past for about 20 minutes and had no idea who he was. He's in show business, but he quietly put on 50. And he became, I don't know why it's always quiet, but it was unrecognizable. And then someone told me later, and you kids out there can guess who it was, but it was not Joel or Ken, his best friend, Ken Young.
Who was it? Let me guess. No.
Yeah, I like where's who was? Let's do it.
We'll save it. No, I can't because it would be mean to the person.
I saw a guy that loudly put on.
But I
60
think
pounds.
Martin Sheen got over it in a second. No, it was not Martin Sheen.
It wasn't Ken Jeong. He's on.
No.
He was born on Ozempic.
That guy's fit. He can still high jump over 6 feet.
Yeah. No. Do you guys know who Nathan Fillion is?
Yeah.
Extremely handsome man from Edmonton, and he continues to look great. But he, like, starting around like late 30s, 40s, he did put on 50 pounds easily.
Quietly.
Still looked great.
Oh, really?
And then he lost it all. I don't know how he did it, but he lost it all, and everyone's like, "You look great," and he literally was like, if you just carry an extra 50 for a decade, and you lose it, then you get this new blank check to look great. Because everyone's like, hey, and I was like, oh, you could just hang in there for that 10 years.
That guy pulls wool, even when he's 50 plus over.
Yeah.
No, you come in a boozed up alcoholic at the 40th anniversary, and then for the 50th, you just go clean for a decade.
Yeah.
And you got all the
Nate Bargatze says he just tells people, even though he's kind of fat, he goes, I just tell people I lost 300 pounds, and they go, holy shit, you look great.
Nate Bargatze's not fat.
But he says to people, so they go, oh, wow. Well, now this is pretty good for you. And he's like,
I saw Def Leppard play. Yes.
So did we.
Thank you. This is 10. They opened for Kiss at the Forum. And I know. I felt. Whoa. I was like. I feel like
that's a story.
That's a pick'em. We got to interview Joe Elliott for an hour. What a kick in the pants that guy.
Well, what were you saying?
One of them. Someone was like, "Well, Def Leppard, they're on this comeback because one of them had cancer." And and you get up there and then you start watching them. I was like, which one has cancer? And there was like all the three of them were bloated and bad hair dye. They're all like, they're just like, bleh. And then the guy with cancer, just skinny and short hair, just like full of energy. They're like, he's doing great now. And I was like, oh, wow, that really shows you.
I think it's sad when there's like a quartet of singers or whatever, and then they eventually one by one pass away. I was in Vegas once, and they, ladies and gentlemen, The Platter. And it was like such a bring down.
Funny. I saw
that's an old joke.
Fleetwood Mac when it was down to Stevie Nicks, two guys from Los Lobos in a contest.
And the name is
it was
the Beach Boy.
Just Josie and
and some friends.
I remember in Seattle, it's at Steppenwolf, no original members. And I thought, what happened?
What's going on?
What is the point? Well, then it's what do you call it? A tribute band. It's that point, right?
It's really just a cover band, which is kind of good. I saw Led Zeppelin or one of these, and the cover bands where I didn't think it was related to Led Zeppelin, but I said, okay, at least I'll just go hear the Led Zeppelin song. Second one, a cover band, right? And they were like, here's one that no one knows. I don't even think Robert Plant remembers. I'm like, no. Guys, here's the deal. I want to know every motherfucker. And then they weren't doing hits. I go, we're not here to do the Zeppelin hits. I go, okay, I think you don't understand what's going on. I paid $3 and what I want.
$3 at the Vaseline Room in Reno or something?
I think it was at Sharky's that place.
I like a tribute band that's like, we're not playing the hits.
Yeah. What is your only job?
And you're not
guys?
playing to a crowd.
We're going to play a new song. Wow.
No, it was at Canyon Club, Joel. Do you know what Canyon Club is in the Valley?
Yes.
Oh God, not a great gig.
Actually, I've played Canyon Club, so I can't.
I played it. That's why I'm saying I didn't.
I saw Foreigner there.
I bet it was great.
It was actually 3-er because one guy didn't show up. Yeah.
My friend,
because the joke's so bad. You go like this.
Oh no, my friend Boyd saw Rick Springfield there, and he said Rick Springfield walked out and said, "Fuck you, I'm 75," and then just went right into Jesse's Girl.
That's the best opening ever. Let me do a quick Dennis Miller. This is 20 seconds per this topic. Playing a casino in San Bernardino. And, in the casinos, they're all in the bar for the longest time. Then they come in. So we came out like 2 minutes before we go on. It's 1,000 seats, not one person sitting there. And Dennis goes, Christ sakes, Carvey, did we just turn into Three Dog Night over here? Sorry, I just wanted to share that with Joel because I knew he would chuckle.
That you actually taught me, Dana, years ago. You were like, yeah, you ever go to those gigs where you haven't done stand-up in a while, and then you just go into your act, and you're barely holding onto the roller coaster as it's going? And I was like, oh, I'm so glad you said that.
Someone else has done it.
The more famous you get, your stand-up gets shitty for a while. Like probably when you're full-time on Community, you're doing less reps, and then your price is going up and up. Right?
Yeah. They get a lot it's a lot of talk about greatest hits.
Yeah.
Well, we know the old days, Joel, where you're not that old, but
yeah, I'm old.
When Dana was headlining,
you could still get carded if you do a little Grecian right there.
I was out there with some
Spade.
guys that were just doing the same 45, not even an hour, just the same 45 on the dot. Then I'd see them a year later, same 45, 3 years later. Because they just had mailing lists and stuff. There was no TikTok or YouTube or not that many specials at all, right? There's only a couple.
Do you ever get like, as you said, like the bands come out, they play all their hits, and that's what everyone wants to hear. And I'm like, but I don't think comics can do that.
I know. I do a mixture usually because some people go, "Oh, you didn't do the one joke of yours I like."
Yeah.
I am very close to doing a one-man show where I do quick change. Church lady, Hans.
Oh yeah, you go
Garth.
You kill it.
I do that like Ed Sullivan. The person goes behind the
partition,
the panel, and then comes out as a totally new character in like 1 second.
You've reached you both are reached that legend status, so you can
bring me in there.
Thank you.
But you should then like do 3 characters that everybody knows, and then throw in a character that you'd be like, and this one was from SNL's 1986 special, and then just be a character that you've never done before, and be like
deep cuts, and it's like this got to read through, and that was it. He's got that animal control thing in the back.
Animal
corner.
Control shows don't get 3rd seasons anymore.
What the fuck?
Well, this is a fucking hit in 2024. A 3rd season.
I always say, we've done 30 total episodes, which in the old days,
that's a new world.
In the old days, that's one season.
Yeah. So hey, divide up the pie however you like. That's great.
Let's call it.
When we did Rules of Engagement, Dana, at the end, it was always 22 episodes, and the way we whined about it was because you can always find a way to grouse in the set. Is first season of Rules of Engagement, we did 22, and we debuted huge, and then there was a fucking strike, and we came back and we never got the momentum. Our fault, I guess.
Damn those workers!
It was only 13 pickups,
and you were I did 13.
And your whole year is over because you can't do anything. You can't book anything else. You can't get a new show. And you just wait. And on May, they go, we might bring you back. And if we do, it'll be for a measly 13. We'd do less if we could. And I'm like, God dang. The second we got to 100 episodes, they fired us that day. They're like, that's all we need. Bye.
Joel, who are you following? What's the show?
How are you? What is this magic?
Who am I following? Oh, I thought you meant like in my political life. The Proud Boys. No.
Yeah.
You had me. I was like,
they have a great TikTok.
Who
are you on? What night are you on, and what time coming up?
We're on. I think we're on. It's January 2nd. As hangovers are just being cured.
A perfect day.
Yeah, it's all. I think that's a Thursday after Hell's Kitchen or Next Level Chef with Gordon Ramsay, who's always ratings gold. And then Dennis Leary has a new comedy that is on after us.
I know all about it.
Really?
Yeah.
They're pairing. Oh, what is his show? Because
I'll
write it down.
It's
called
Dutch.
What's the one?
It's called. Nope. I'm getting there.
Really great. That not get me to
telling you, Going Dutch.
Going Dutch. Yes, it's about an army base in Europe that is only for supplies. And so they're like the great distributor to all the bases. So there's no action at all. And Danny Pudi is in it from Community.
That's what it says, yeah.
And the family is slowly coming back. So we're very lucky because Fox is hung in, you hear all these stuff, but they hung in there with the show. And not compared to Community, but like on Community, but we were always on the bubble, and Fox, like, they like the show. They're like, we're hanging in there. And now it's slowly built up on Hulu, and they've taken their time. So they did the thing that old comedies used to do, where they would take care of it and nurture it and water it. And so it's gotten better, and it's really enjoyable.
It's nice they do what they say, because not all these networks, they can tell you it's great until the day they chop your head off and you go, oh. But it's just a biz. But I think they add in Hulu. There's some reason you're doing well. They calculate everything together, some metric, something means it's working.
AI.
It is.
Analyze.
It's interesting that not to get nuts, but they like how Netflix, like Friends and The Office, those are, and Suits of all, they're all, and same thing with Community. We didn't become a hit until after streamers came out. And and these shows have 100 or 150 episodes, and people see them like comfort food.
And you were NBC, and how many episodes?
We were NBC. We were canceled after our 4th season, and then brought back on Yahoo Screen. What's that?
It
was a short-lived streaming service that Yahoo.
That's a calculator.
Yeah, it went from the biggest
your calculator app,
biggest website to weather, and to just a little weather app after. But they literally blamed us for the downfall of Yahoo Screen, which I'm like, I brought down a streamer, and then that was it after 6 seasons. So we did like 130.
So you had 130 to sell.
It kind of, I don't know the word cult, but it has legs. I mean, because I don't think anything kind of like Community. It was unique,
Yeah.
Just its vibe and the way it was written and the people in it. So it's kind of cool that it lives on. And
Dan Harmon is freaking true genius. And I think, David, you probably know him. I would think.
I know him a little bit, and
I know him. I did a thing with him for, I think, National Geographic Channel, where I played JFK or something. I can't remember. It was shot all over at that studio.
Sounds fun.
That's awesome.
It was. He's very, very smart.
Joel, are these Chevy stories we had him on the show? Is it more rumor, or was he a bit of a pickle?
And how I put it this way too. I want to think. How did you think about Chevy during the show, and now how do you think about Chevy now?
Oh, well, I've never answered any questions about him, so this is
I like it.
This is
this is SNL related, so it's a little.
I can start with my theory, because we had him on, and I kind of figured him out right before we came on, and then it kind of made sense to me that he has an impulse to say the thing you're not supposed to say, even if it goes territory that you cannot even comprehend he's going there. But he has an impulse to do that. So right before he came on our show, he was at David's house. I just sort of went with it, and he would do all this shock stuff, and I just started finding it so funny because I saw what he was doing.
If you're not ready, but
if you don't get defensive, it's like a swing and a miss. If someone just laughs,
all that's, I would agree with everything on that plane.
Okay.
And then,
but you worked with him a lot more than I
but
have,
like
so.
at 6 a.m, as we're all stumbling in there, hoping to make our 15-hour day, I guess this is a separate thing, but he didn't want to be there for that long. Like it was those hours and that work was too much for the man. He didn't want to be there, and so we would have to find a way to shoot him out. And I'm not, Chevy, if you're listening or watching, I don't think you would disagree with any of this. And the man had a lot going on all the time, and he could definitely be disruptive, and he definitely didn't like it when some people were funnier, and he kind of lose his mind a little bit. And then, he was fired from the show famously. And
Okay.
everyone was like, I feel, he's everything. Like when he was good, it was magic, and he's so good. And if we watch those first few seasons, he's so funny. But the guy was his own self-sabotager all the time, and he would always be disruptive and all that stuff. So I think in doses, like you're saying, like if he's throwing out, he also always had to find, if things were going well, he would find a way to slow that down.
Right.
He would throw some wrench in, and so I mean the guy, his reputation precedes him, and I haven't spoke to him since the show ended, but I did play him in a movie, and I guess I called him to tell him that. I'm sure
he'd love that.
Yeah, there's that.
That's weird. You played Chevy in a movie after Community.
Yeah, very strange. Just someone who does a lot of arms workouts. He's always been, he was always the focus of attention whenever he was in the room.
All those picadillos or ticks, whatever you want to call them, we've worked with people in show business where it can be cute and funny, but then if it's actually part of a job, it's a completely different idea. Something. Forget Chevy. Just if anybody is actively just being difficult.
Well, if you don't love coming to work, that's hard. If you get nervous at work, you're going, someone's coming in today and it's going to be tough. And you're like, these days are so hard anyway, and no one believes it. But if you're in it and you're up at 6 and leaving at 8:30 at night, you're like, we have no life. Just get your
single
lines
camera,
memorized.
a half hour. I mean, that's a workload.
And we shot those shows like they were movies. They weren't shot in a documentary style thing. So none of it was that the loose. It was all cinematic, and we shot those like paintball things and all those kind of epic looking things for half hour. And we knew Chevy had obviously dealt with things like that before because he was a gigantic movie star.
Yeah.
All through the 80s, but he had, and then there'll be other times when we physically push each other around, so that also happened. And I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't want to try to fight you. I mean, I think you're probably that's what I thought. You don't want to
one of the strongest guys in Hollywood. I don't know.
Don't. Yeah, it was all. It all, when we look back on it, I'm like, what? That was just mayhem as we were trying to, get this shit made.
Just do a cute show.
Yeah, and then I have that thing of like people like, there's that thing because during the time, it was during the times when you didn't say anything, where it was like, just keep doing what you're doing because it's working, and we want to rock the boat. And
for sure.
So we kind of, I remember multiple people above us going, yeah, and he's all ours. And, in the show, it was working. So it was, you
don't want them to say, let's get rid of the show.
We feel the stress is coming over the.
I was like, good. I was like, I don't know if I talk to him again, I'm sure he'd be like, fuck you. So I'm like, all right, great. But he'd probably say that anyway, even if he was in love.
He might surprise you. I don't know. But yeah, that's I've had experiences like that, Mickey Rooney. But anyway, it doesn't really matter, Mickey Rooney. But God rest his soul. But yeah, he was,
well, putting it in the Mickey Rooney sort of analogy.
I love any podcast that mentions Mickey Rooney. Go ahead.
He's so happy right now that his name got mentioned.
Mickey Rooney, number one star in the world, right? Legitimately.
Yeah.
Chevy, Time Magazine, funniest man in America, and then movie after movie after movie. Tall, great looking. Goldie Hawn said when I saw him, I was like, this is a formidable person. He comes in and at some point he's got to feel like I'm on a sitcom or I'm on whatever. And everyone's getting laughs around him. And usually they would write that out. You know, they would just be like, I'm the guy that scores and then here's the movie around me. Everyone can be okay. And so there's something to that. I remember George Segal. I would think that with George Segal when I was on Just Shoot Me because he's so great. And one time he goes, you little fuck, I used to work with Elizabeth Taylor. I go, I know, dude. This is
no, he was huge.
We would laugh about it because,
70s.
And he would yell it to the audience. He'd point to me and go, I used to work with Elizabeth Taylor. Now I work with this fucking asshole. But we had a great time.
But don't you think that, like, he loved it.
He was happy about it. He was happy.
Right. Is that they didn't realize that when everybody's funny, that makes everything funny. That makes the whole thing better. And rarely, like on a show, I don't know, I'm trying to think of some example of some super funny show. 8 is Enough, let's say. No, right. Where they go, oh, everyone was funny on that show except for that one guy. It's like, no, the whole, because everyone was scoring, everyone.
We need a straight man for this man. Everyone's valuable. And George said, like we had all done, Just Shoot Me wasn't a magnanimous hit, but it stayed on for 7 years. And we would all, I think what happened, we all had downtime where it wasn't working for a little bit. So we all were like, hey, we're all lucky to be here. So it was a lot less fighting. I can't remember any because we thought we know what it's like when it doesn't work. It's not all given. You know, if you're on Friends and it's your first show you get and you're a superstar, a worldwide star, you can't even imagine what if I did a show that didn't work. You can't imagine what it's like to just get pilots canceled. So when you've had ups and downs and something works, you go, oh, we are lucky. Let's do not mess this up.
Yeah.
And that's probably what you were doing.
But it sounds like there was nobody on Just Shoot Me that was disruptive.
Right. I'm saying is that you had that. And so you don't want to mess the show up. So you're probably not telling everybody like, hey, we got to get rid of this. What can we do? Because they might say, this whole show is a problem. Let's just get rid of it. And you're like, no, I like it. I want to be here.
Do you think that when Chevy came through with Community, like how much has changed now with live streaming shows? Because you'll just see full-blown movie stars, except Tom Cruise, who's one of my favorites, doing a live streaming series. And it's completely
blurry line.
Accepted. It's not like, oh, what happened to his movie career?
There's more of those than
watching
movies.
Live.
Yeah. I mean, that's also why, like, when Snoop and Jamie Foxx and Dwayne Johnson and Ellen all did game shows, and that blew away the oh, you don't have to, there's not a tie, like you're in that lane now. It's just all the lanes blurred, and then then the streamers had all the money, and like Squid Games, if like no one cared, they're like, oh, it's just great. And I was like, if you told an executive 5 years ago that a foreign language murder game show drama and Kevin Costner would be the biggest things on TV, they'd be like, Kevin Costner in a Western? I don't think so. That's not going to be a hit. That Westerns are dead. It's all science fiction. Oh, and people are not going to read subtitles. Forget it. And then the biggest things on the planet.
That's part of the fun is that no one can't figure out showbiz. That's part of the crazy lottery. It like, you go, I could make it overnight. You just don't know. It could be in a show that blows up.
There's 5 billion bits of digital information to watch right now, globally, between YouTube and then all the rest. So it's 5 billion. So I'm just saying it's different. That's my point. My thesis is that show business changed. You can do commercials. You can talk about your brand and being in the marketplace with your brand. Everyone can do commercials. Everyone can do anything.
Yeah, really.
Everyone can do Mass Singer. Huge hit. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
Which you've been on.
Yes. Well, yeah. Ken caught, once again, those guys caught lightning in a bottle. And when I was first on that show, I was like, I don't really understand what the rules are. Are we guessing who they are, or are we telling you, are they good at singing? Which one is it? And they were like, absolutely. And I was
Are we
like,
saying good costume? What are we saying? By the way, I like the guesses. It's like, is it Lady Gaga? Is it Adele? I think it's President Obama. And then they're like, nope, it's Corey Feldman. And they're like, oh, I knew it. No, it's the kid from 8 is Enough.
That's when, they
twice.
They had, but no, it was from, they always throw out those, they throw out those crazy guesses.
Big names.
And then I would like it just one time to be like, oh, it is Prince Harry. Holy shit. They got him. And
Meghan Markle, they play like a horse character, and she's the front, he's the back, and they pop out. That would be great. That would be really good for ratings. But as my mom would say, they should do that. They should do that.
Ken is so he's like the secret weapon on that show where he's so freaking funny on it, and everyone's really great, and Robin Thicke's his great. They had to throw his ear is so good that they have to throw static at him and Nicole Scherzinger when she was there, or they could just listen to a person's voice and they will point out some obscure singer from oh, that guy's from Northern Italy. He's a big pop star in Austria, and he and Nicole could decipher that, and so they had to throw anyway. And then Ken would just say the funniest thing.
When I talked to Robin Thicke backstage, he said, "I can tell right now. You can't sing just by talking to you because I hear your voice." I was like, "Wow."
You want a fun fact, David Spade?
Yeah.
Bruce Lee went to the University of Washington, my alma mater.
Where you did. Oh, my God. Don't make me
really
research. Bruce Lee,
I
was he
watched
nice?
Enter the Dragon last week.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Do you have any classes with him?
No, he was much older than me. How dare you?
Oh,
but when everybody says you went to Harvard? How many presidents? And I was like, nobody has a better.
Yeah,
I was Bruce Lee. Name somebody better.
Get somebody cooler. I'm going to jump around here. You were once quoted as saying, which is a great beginning. Now, when we talk about SNL sometimes in the show, you say, I think you say, because you're the only one that wouldn't love the cue cards. I love the cue cards.
Oh. No, bad. I would the anxiety that I'm feeling right now
of hearing about it.
I don't know how. I think I was talking to Bill Hader about I was like, I don't know how you do it, man. He goes, oh, I'm super dyslexic, and if they change a single word, I flip out. And Stefan, obviously that was improvised, which was pretty incredible. But no, you got I still to this when I see people doing the Weekend Update or those things, that I've gotten so much better at it because of the soup for so many years. But that live audience with cue cards flying with multiple people, I would be like, oh boy, here we go.
Well, there are a lot of cuts between Dress and Air, and you don't get a chance. You're just going to see it on the card. And pretend
they
you're
yell
not
on the way out.
It'll
be on the cards, and you're like,
on the
this
card,
is not
and
good
we're skipping that, and you just go from here to here. So it is crazy. But just for a second, as it leads into this discussion, how many years did you do the soup? Because that's another part of your resume.
Oh, yeah, 12 years.
Soup's great.
And did that break some? That also is kind of fresh.
Did it ever not do well? I always thought Talk Soup and the soup would always.
You could always just.
Oh yeah, it did not well.
Really. I always thought I loved it. I thought everyone liked that one.
I thought it was extremely entertaining, no matter whenever you flipped through and you saw it, because it's pop culture and quips and visual.
No, we had a good time. But then I think then in 2015, E was at that point not the most well organized network on the planet. This is now almost 10 years ago, but they signed me to a new 2-year contract in August and then canceled the show in late October. And that was great. And they didn't realize my contract was guaranteed. No joke.
No joke. I'm not kidding around here.
Oh, no. And they had to pay your ass.
So I
They
got
should have just
paid.
done it.
But was that time when the waterfall of streaming was just budding into linear television, and no one television viewing was falling off. Streaming was coming on slowly but surely, and they didn't know. They were like, "What's the problem? Maybe it's the show's fault." And that was you would always blame, and that kind of brought it into the barn. Also, they had moved our night and increased the number of repeats, and they were always telling us, "Oh no, there's so many people watching. There's even more people watching it now." And then they canceled. Like I was like, why say? I was like, don't try to make me feel better. Just tell me what's going on. And so that was on for 12 freaking years, and couldn't believe it. And that was one of those cases where I was like, well, this is what happens. You get a television show and it's on, it works. This is how it works, right? And then,
what's so hard?
Nobody gets 12 years.
Nobody gets 12 years.
Does that exist out there? Is that on Hulu or Netflix? The Soup.
No, because all those clips were news clips. So we just you could use them for free for 1 week, and then you had to pay for them all. And so I was told there's a couple of people that saved, like 400 episodes. I was like, I don't know who those people are, but I haven't seen them. It is weird to go back and look at it. My kids look at me and go, what are you doing? Is that you? And I'm like, yeah, that's what your dad used to do before he had hair. And
did you stick with the crew laughing and not an audience?
We put out folding chairs for about 20 people because we wanted to keep
Lo-fi.
it low. And then at one point, E wanted to do it daily. And I was like, we shouldn't do that because what if it doesn't work? And then it was going to become more of a talk show. And I was like, let's keep it to just clips.
The way it is. Yeah.
Slightly dirty jokes.
Yeah.
And and then they were like, then Daniel Tosh came on and he was such a monster hit. And the E was always like, at one point, there was the president who ended up canceling the show. She had this big meeting with me, and she was like, have you thought about putting clips on from the internet? And then I go, like we do every week for the last 5 years. Yeah. And she was like, oh, you do? Okay, good. All right. End of meeting. And I was like, she's not even watching the show. She doesn't.
Wow. That's a perfect executive.
Yeah.
Don't read.
You should be like the show.
Don't listen. Just have an opinion.
Is doing your show. You're like, yeah, we're trying to be like the new show. That's really our show. Yeah. They're all very blurry. I mean, it's a format that works, and you guys do it, toss to it, and then they just go, oh, we'll watch the new version. And he's funny.
And now
so
Rob Dyrdek has been doing it on MTV for forever.
Yeah, for sure. And same thing.
So let me ask you, I'm just curious, you were reading a teleprompter, right?
I was, but it was for the crew. The first year, nobody watched. And because we were on at 10 o'clock on Fridays, it was a desert. And this is, you kids listening or watching this, there was a time when you could only tune in for your show, and you missed it if that didn't.
Yeah.
And we began to beat a rerun of Sex and the City, and they were over the moon. And the show was so cheap at that point that they kept us on. But it would take me, for 22 minutes of jokes and clips put together, it would take me 4.5 hours to finally kind of do it.
Oh, horrible.
Oh, there was a crew guy that quit. He was just like, this guy can't read. And that's how we talk.
We should be in and out in real time.
I love a crew guy. This kid can't read.
What's happening?
Well,
of course, we hire somebody who can't read to read. And so that lowered, my anxiety lowered as I got better at it. And then I began to not care. And we would do the show live. And I would advertise that I had dyslexia, and I'd be like, I don't know what's going to happen. I can't really read, but we're doing it live. And so that, I mean, of course, the best therapy for my dyslexia was doing a live show on television. So it was an odd, but it anyway. But that's So to this day, like, I'm not the greatest reader, but I'm so much more relaxed at it, and I just kind of go, it's just going to be a thing, and that's how it is, and it's not gonna. You'll just have to, it all worked out, thank God. But when you guys I know, going back to it, but when like reading, like if I were to see a cue card with, like, to see to see two jokes on a card at once and be like, here comes that one, here comes that one. And I know what's coming, so that means I'm ready to talk to whatever. I would be like, woo! I would need, that's always.
It's a bit much. I did it recently on SNL, and it was a lot. There's a lot of notes in your head. You've got guests and moving and introducing and landing jokes, and a lot of times there's 3 jokes in one paragraph, and they're not like delineated. It's just, but I do think what's great is, like, I have 2 older brothers that had dyslexia, but it wasn't diagnosed back then.
No, they just called you an idiot.
You're dumb.
They were in the red book or the yellow book rather than the blue or green, whatever and kind of felt sorry for them, but it was just nothing to do with their intellect at all. So it's great that they can go, no, this is how your brain works. Doesn't mean you're not Einstein. So
it's I don't know. And then the pressure of, so this is a lot. This is you're on the most popular live show of all time. You auditioned to get on this thing, and then it's like, we'll see how you do. If you score in this next 15 seconds, you'll probably get another season, or you're just completely off the show. And that's like the NFL.
Yeah,
that's right.
I to this day, like, there are cast members, I'm like, I can't. Yeah, I mean, but like cast members that got fired, I was like, what? But they're school. So it's a long. You've been all over this for many times.
There's all kinds of reasons why things happen, and some of it is just whimsy and luck, and then people can last 2 or 3 years, and then something. I don't know how it all really goes down.
I was on Kevin Nealon's podcast. And
hiking. We'll start in just a second. Anyway, we're trying to do a little Kevin Nealon.
Hey, Joe, what are you doing?
Hiking with Kevin. Let's give him a plug. Hiking with Kevin.
He's he is. But he was saying that right before, because he had that character, Mr. Subliminal.
And Mr. Subliminal.
Yeah, it was like the first time he was doing it. And he was just about to, and Lauren got behind him. Like, it's counting down from the commercial, and Lauren just goes, "Are you sure this is what you want?" And I was like, "What?"
And he had a revolver in his hand.
On top of everything else, the creator of the show just kind of fucks with you a little bit.
And you have to laugh and go, "Was he serious?"
Part of his sense of humor. I mean, his running catchphrase, you walk past in the hallway, still with the show. He just likes to break the tension. And between dress and air, he still gives a speech to everyone, and kind of, we're going on the air show, and it wasn't a really good dress. And it's like, it'd be really good if this show was like funny rather than not funny, because we have a 2-week break and you're going to meet a lot of your relatives, and all they'll remember is this show. Now go. But then it makes me laugh.
Yeah, or you say we had a 2-week break, you're back, and it shows. You took too much time off. We got to get back.
Great, thanks, coach.
Yeah. Anyway, let's do a great show. Get him.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you were an athlete and stuff. You could have a coach who was you should all the time. So I went to state school. And then ones who just in a rare blue moon would give you a compliment or give you a little nudge, and it meant a lot more,
yeah. No joke. Yes.
So what was the sport you were best at?
Yeah.
I know you played football, and you also...
I walked on to the University of Washington football team. So I was way out of my league. Talk about being, could not have been worse. But they kept me on because I was really good at skit night, and they loved me on skit night. So I became like a mascot. But that was the most terrifying I'd ever been a part of. But at the same time, most fun. But if I had to pick, I was a good basketball player. And I was a pitcher my freshman year of high school, and I quit that. But I guess
triple threat.
I played darts. I mean, I played I like to blame my ADHD, but I just wanted to chase a ball or throw something that's all I wanted to do as a child. But now, all I do is play tennis.
Good.
I remember playing freshman year of football in high school, and the coach was like, "See those guys playing tennis? They're all training to be old men." And he was like, "And we can play football." And everyone's like, "Yeah." And now I'm like, "Hey, probably should have stuck with tennis.
Yeah,
that would have been a little bit better." But if I don't exercise, ask my wife, I get very agitated, and I think it's my best form of therapy, that and red wine. I now have this relationship with the University of Washington where it's been because of it, like being in Hollywood, they've not because of the records I set, I get to kind of do team events sometimes. And now I'm still friends with a lot of the players, but from the old guys. So I'm like, I can't believe my good fortune. Like they didn't kill me. But our coach, Don James, who was not a yeller in any way, he was always quiet. And even in practice, he kind of stood in this booth and directed things like a conductor very quietly. And when he would say something like he would be literally just go, "That was good." I'd be like, Coach James thought I was good. And, but yeah, we are also, so he was, continues to be one of the most legendary coaches of all college football. And, I can't. And then when I saw him years later, I was like, "Hey, coach." And he was like, "Oh, hey." And I was like, "You remember?" And because the walk-on programs at these colleges we were cannon fodder to make the scholarship players,
look better.
Keep them, yes, basically keep them in shape. That's my long-winded.
We got a clip
explanation.
I love hearing about that. I was tracking, distance running in high school, and we do intervals. You sprint a lap around the track, rest for a minute, sprint a lap, but the eighth one, which was the last one, the coach would always say, "Gentlemen, blood, gut, and hair." And we never knew what the hair part, we just thought blood and guts, but blood, gut, and hair. And
does your hair fall out? You're so stressed.
No, I don't know what it meant to this day. I'm asking, and you guys don't know. So clearly still haven't figured it out. Lauren Lansbury was his name. He was a brilliant coach, trained the shit out of us.
I remember in Blair Witch Project when they just found the teeth in the hair, and that was more terrifying than finding a hand.
Yeah.
I think that's a good connection. Yeah. It worked. I mean, we just got scared when we heard that. But anyway.
Dane, anything left for Joel?
Wait, David, did you play sports?
Joel, listen. I'm not on trial here. No, I was a skateboarder. I did play baseball. I did play all of them, baseball, basketball, and football, until it got too rough. Like, I think I was good enough in baseball until sophomore year in high school. Got cut, never went back. Football, I tried out sophomore year, got annihilated, and the coach treated me like I was Lucas and said, maybe this isn't for you. And then basketball, you could figure that one out. It was fun to play like intramural stuff, and then I wasn't bad. It just at a certain point, you're not going to do anything.
Did you?
I was probably as good as Bronny.
Wait.
Oh, I root for Bronny. Come on, man.
Take the other side.
Anybody
who's Bronny?
LeBron
James' son.
I see. Yes.
I root for.
David, did you see that? It came out like 5 years ago. They studied skateboarders and about how it teaches independence because you're teaching yourself something a lot of the time.
Oh.
And it's not really a team, but it teaches true independence and to be out on your own and to be aware of your surroundings.
It's a good game to do on your own. Like when you just get your skateboard in Arizona, I'd skate around. You don't need to find a football game. You don't need to find someone to play basketball with. You just go, hey, I'm going to go skate. And then you go to a pool or somewhere and there's other dirt balls there and you just skate around. So it's kind of fun. And my parents are gone in the day, so I would just skate and try to get better. But I did really like it. It was definitely a skater mentality, a bunch of dudes that were doing that. And some were burnouts and stuff, but we weren't going to be in the football team. So there's different factions, Yeah. And I was a skater, but I'm glad you brought that up because it's good on the quads. That's the reason I have good quads. That's why I don't show them a lot because people go fucking nuts.
So you're still maintaining them then somehow.
If we ever do this again, we're going to have to talk about truck restoration, David.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Right.
Dana, we have a mutual truck restorer, right. Brian Corsetti, who...
I'm into Land Cruisers near the Scouts.
Well, Scout, I have Land Cruisers as well.
Oh, because I'm a rich motherfucker.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
Truck specific or SUVs?
Scouts look cool, dude.
I have an International Scout and a 1970 Land Cruiser and a 1990 Land Cruiser.
Cool, all the way. I like all.
All look cool.
I'm looking at 70s trucks now. That's all my Instagram feed.
That's me too.
Come on, are you guys going to get a Tesla truck? I mean, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Oh, no, they're so cool looking. They don't look like they're from that video game Dig Dug at all.
You going to get a Dig Dug truck?
No, I
love Elon. I think they're working out the bugs, though. I'm not ready for a Tesla truck. Plus, I'm too puny. They're fucking magnanimous. I saw one the other day. I walked by it. It's like a tank.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, Land Cruiser's big.
I would valet in one of those and they'd say name for the car, and I'd say I'm Batman and go right into Coy.
You're not going to get in the Beverly Center with that.
It doesn't seem like it's a Batman vehicle. I mean,
it's pretty cool. I've seen them blacked out.
I would worry the valet would accidentally impale himself on one of the corners and sue you because they're like, "What happened? I bled out from."
I know they come with Bactine. Thank God. Bactine is back. All right. Thanks, Joel.
Liquid bandwidth. Thank you for having me.
You're a good dude.
I held back on saying how giddy I was to talk to you guys because you're my heroes. So that's it. Okay, I'm leaving.
We worked.
Thank you, buddy.
We worked on things. We've seen you around. So just
you got no idea how excited I was to do this. And my wife was like, "Well, that's a good one." And I was like, "Wait, it's not like the other ones are bad." And she was like, "Oh,
they are."
She said, "Please say hi."
That's
and
nice.
She's never met you.
Say hello and thanks, buddy. I'll see you around.
Thanks, Joel. Animal Control.
Animal Control. This has been a presentation of Odyssey. Please follow, subscribe, leave a like, a review, all this stuff. Smash that button, whatever it is, wherever you get your podcasts. Fly on the Wall is executive produced by Dana Carvey and David Spade, Jenna Weiss-Berman of Odyssey, and Heather Santoro. The show's lead producer is Greg Holtzman.